Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yay! Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me.
You know what? I talked to your mayor.
You talk big, but your wallet's thin. Claim you're winning while I cash it in. Your schemes are weak, your pitch is lame. I'm stacking gold, you're playing games. I'm getting paid while you're just scammers. Swinging fake dreams like broken hammers. Flashing your lies like neon glamours. But I see through your cheapo banners. You sell the moon, but can't pay rent. Your big ideas just came and went. I'm counting checks while you pretend. Your pyramids crumble in my climb will end. I'm getting paid while you're just scammers. Swinging fake dreams like broken hammers. Flashing your lies like neon glamours. But I see through your cheapo banners. You hustle air, I breathe success. Your phony tricks are such a mess. I'll toast your wins, you fake distress. Your con's exposed, no second guess. Your empire's built on plastic pride, but truth's a wave you can't outride. I'm stacking real while you divide. The house of cards where you reside. You'll beg for mercy from coast to coast, saying where's that villain we hate the most. I'm masked up and on the attack. Verbal walk-bys filled with facts. Yeah, I'm getting paid while you're just scammers. Swinging fake dreams like broken hammers. Maybe you intimidate your friends and kin, but when I play to win. And here we are, right at the end, with your game of cheap pretend. Nothing about your world is real. A plastic person that suits to feel.
It must be lonely to sit on a throne made of silence, built not with trust but with lawsuits and threats. Fought like nails to board, shut the mouths that know you best. How sad is it to turn your name into a weapon, to aim at your own kin, your own crew, your own clients, just to keep the truth from catching daylight. But see, truth don't bruise, it burns, and maybe that's why you run from it. Why you hide behind courts, behind contracts and clauses, as if a signature can undo a sin. Because truth is kryptonite, and you ain't made of much steel to begin with.
Yeah, I'm getting paid while you just scammers, swinging fake dreams like broken hammers, getting masked up for what I love the most, wrecking lawyers on these streams I host.
It's your time.
What's up, folks? How's it going on a Sunday afternoon? I hope you all are doing fabulously. Isn't it amazing? We are 21 days into September. The insanity, it doesn't slow down or stop. And last night we had a really interesting discussion pop up. Apparently everyone else's proof about dates is a lie. Everything we show is a lie, according to certain people. And they described again how money works for them. The money thing is fascinating too, because what you've run into here is them telling you again, like I said, they are trying to say that when a project is done, money, well, I guess that's theirs. 'Cause oh my God, this stuff is wild, man. They are straight up planning to keep everything but a little bit of a remnant. They're going to say whatever remnant was left, they're going to give back. Oh my God, this stuff is crazy too, man. People are telling Lynette Preston, yo, again, this guy, these aren't my receipts, by the way. This is $50,000 or $56,000 this guy talked about. They were like, those receipts are fake. It's like, those are all publicly posted items. Like the guy made these statements publicly. Like there is nothing that we're adding to it. So I'm curious how anything is supposedly faked out of all of that. I don't kind of understand the whatever they're trying to add. I would say logic, but that's a stretch because there is no actual logic to the idea that money somehow belongs to them. It makes no freaking sense whatsoever. I mean, again, they're like, these are fake. No, man, this stuff is real. You want to know how real? Well, like I said, I decided, give me a minute here. I actually kept an entire section of David's screenshots. I mean, when they were having the breakdown in streams, I kept all of that stuff. I have many of these. Other people have these too, where they popped up. And it's weird. They're like, well, those are fake screenshots. Well, some of those screenshots were posted by you. Are you saying this is not real? Because that's your screenshot. It came from you. You saying these aren't real? Because some of them happened in your chats. It's weird. It's so bizarre to see this plan unfold. Again, Lynette Preston she has stepped in a snake's den, and it's kind of interesting. It's also, I mean, at this point, I mean, I guess she gets what she gets. If she thinks that she's gonna walk away somehow and get all this stuff back, she is doomed. The thing I want to talk about today, though, the thing I really want to focus on today is an interview that happened and is absolutely freaking crazy. This is the Jamie Starr Johnson interview. Now, Jamie Starr Johnson had a lot to say. It was good stuff. I had been waiting for that for, more than a hot minute, really. Shara said it was coming up, and I was kind of excited to hear this because, again, Jamie knows, you know, she was there. So for her to go on record and to talk about some of the stuff that happened, it's wild. I didn't know if it would ever happen, you know. The music on the beginning, I've got to jump through.
Without the public, there would be a lot more injustice. So the public is always welcome here. We are going to get into it.
Let me pull this up for you. Like I said, I was jumping forward on it because I wanted to get it started at a certain point where, again, it's all good. I just I wanted to make sure that we get in. It's like an hour long, and it's like I said, it's fascinating stuff. So listen to this. Here we go. Let's listen to the interview here. And Shara, if you've not subscribed to her channel, you definitely should. Shara Wolf, Shara Wolf, easy to find. You know, very easy channel to find. Very much worth checking out.
We are going to turn back the clock, and we are going to find out how did Miss Jamie Starr wind up in Otter Creek? How did I wind up covering the Otter Creek story, Otter Creek and the Golden Key? And how did MP wind up in Otter Creek on the same street as a famous YouTuber, Mr. Jeremy Hales?
That's quite a bit.
These are questions that will be answered tonight, and we will provide evidence on subjects discussed at the end of the video. And we are grateful to everyone that's here. Please get a fluffy, cozy pillow and get comfy. We should be going about an hour and a half, maybe a little longer. And get your favorite drink. I don't know what you drink. Maybe a tall glass of iced tea, lemonade, maybe a favorite cup of tea, whatever floats your boat. And we are not talking cruise ships. We are not. So
not talking cruise ships, indeed.
Let's get into it.
Hello.
Jamie?
Yes.
Hi, my love. It's been so long.
I know.
I miss you. It's been way too long.
Yeah.
If you don't know Jamie Starr Johnson, by the way, she appears in some of the earliest pictures and some of the earliest testimonies to date about what happened with Preston and what happened with Otter Creek. Man, we just had a storm roll through. I just saw our power blink. If I blink out for some reason, I apologize. We just had a pop-up light. I can hear it. So, of course. But we'll go and pretend it's not a problem until it is a problem. But this, with Jamie Starr Johnson, you've got to remember, she was attacked. She was maligned by Preston. She said all kinds of things about her being a drug addict and more. And she kept her mouth shut for the longest time. She had nothing to say on the subject until. And now she is finally, she spoke about some of the conditions. She stated that's how we found out about the turtle on its back. That's how we heard about balding chickens. But also, we heard other things too. And some of them were, they were very concerning. But Jamie Starr Johnson, I think she was maligned enough that it made her want to speak out. So that's why you have interviews like this. So if Preston ever wonders how so many people get to the point where they speak out about her, it's either her going after them or say it's her PR going after them. There's always some kind of crazy, but let's continue.
It has. Miss you too.
I do too. I'm not going to name the child, not even her initials. You know how I am. I don't bring children into this. I will call her child. That's it. That's what I'll call her.
Okay.
Once I put everything together, I'll put the evidence, I'll go through the interview and figure out where I need to have evidence, and I'll put that at the very end, obviously.
Right.
There were a lot of people that had questions, but I think we can do that in a part 2. I think let's just get through the early stage of this, what happened early on. And then if we want to do questions, we can do that on another one rather than this one, I think.
Are you going to talk about Northport? The big one.
Yeah, well, that's where we're going to start. here's
the fighting, the arguing.
Yes.
The house being a mess when I got there.
Yes. I appreciate this so much.
No, no worries.
Yep, we're going to turn back the clock.
I've kept my mouth shut for 2 years.
I know you have, and I know it's been hard.
Right there. You have, what was the motivation? She kept her mouth shut for 2 years. Why would she be motivated to speak up? Oh, well, it's because they keep going after her again and again. They bring her up. They call her an addict. They talk about her. And again, I mean, these allegations, they're pretty rough. I mean, they are. They've made some very serious allegations about her, and they, through that, again, Preston talking is one thing, but when you have PR, when you have all these other people sounding off and attacking as well, people they've never even heard of in many cases, but they decided to put a bullseye on her. Yeah. After a while, it becomes enough is enough. So she decides to speak out and good to her, props to it.
And what has been going on in this case is unbelievable. And I'm sure you can see.
I know.
Oh, it's unreal. I'm not going to get into anything about the kids right now. I know what you're going through, and I'm sure the world knows. But I just want to stay in a certain zone with this, and we can talk about that at another time. If you ever need my help or anything in that arena, you know where I am. We're going to talk very briefly on how you and I met. I was covering a standoff. It was in 2018, and that I met you in a courtroom, didn't I? A courthouse.
You sure did.
So the first time I ever met you was not online or anything like that. You and I met in a courthouse. And then we both had the same issue with the same, we went viral, obviously, with the standoff. Both of us did. And people were making videos of us around the world. It was crazy. Yeah. And then came the trolls. and the more I defended you, the more they got on me. And they really were digging into you. It was horrible.
I lost a lot from that.
But with all of that, we had a moment of fame, obviously, when it happened.
Right.
And it was just a big case around the world. And with that, a lot of attention came into your life and a lot of people. So did somebody like suddenly pop up on your videos? And write on your videos?
There's a consistent person, yes, that not only popped up, but then started talking to me.
Right. Would that be MP?
That would be MP.
And had you ever heard of her before she came onto your video when you had that moment of fame there?
No, absolutely not.
So see, that's interesting. They seek people out in these moments where they're at a high point, but also a low point. You understand what I mean? They're you can't imagine when you end up getting a lot of eyes on you, it doesn't matter if it seems like the whole world agrees on the subject. If there are lots of people will turn on you and do horrible things. And if it's something where people decide that you could be a bad guy in any way, it gets even worse. So that's what I mean by it's a huge moment, but can be a low moment for people too. But MP somehow finds her way into this thing. See, like I said, and I find all of this interesting. All these players that are out here, who they are, how they fit into this. I find this stuff, fascinating.
And did she seem very eager to get to know you and be part of your life at that time?
Absolutely. She was a friend, and she had helped me with the foundation a few times by sending us small amounts of money. Mm-hmm.
So she wasn't a friend before. She just made herself a friend. When she saw your videos, she came into your.
You got to question that too, MP. MP giving money to somebody. When MP is giving money, or John's giving money, we've seen John giving money here and there. When they've given money, do you feel like it has some purpose, some ulterior motive, as you will, that is not spoken of in that moment? Sometimes I feel like everything is done with some type of purpose like that. And of course, I mean, I've seen, like I said, you've seen John Cook trying to rally the troops. You've seen MP trying to rally them sometimes here and there as well. It's all, looking back, it all leads to somewhere, at least hopefully, they hope that leading to somewhere where it pays off for them.
Videos came into your life and made herself your friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but you didn't know her before.
Nope.
Okay.
Not at all.
Now, I want to go from the beginning, but I want to just talk about this for a moment.
Here's a question. With everything you know with MP and friendships, would you want to be a friend of these people? Because every friendship seems to end in some terrible way. It seems to end with people being maligned. I mean, every time it's like a story on repeat, we're friends, even people again that have saved lives within those homes becomes maligned. They become a bad guy in this story. And it seems, like I said, a plot point on repeat. I would be curious who hasn't ended up that way. And if they haven't yet, you watch, you mark my words, they will. They will. When MP figures out things like bankruptcies, they don't discharge orders against you, when she figures out stuff like that, it's going to be a bit interesting. But let's continue.
Famous red sign that's in his videos. What is the name on that sign? What does it say on that sign where you went and posed and took pictures? How did you know about that sign when you arrived there? When did she take you to that sign, and what did she say, and how did that come about?
Well, I was already informed about JH.
Mm-hmm.
About the minute I got there.
In Northport?
In Northport.
Okay.
When I came to visit her in Northport to help her clean her house up.
Did she
was buying this other property.
Did she bring you there?
Yes, we went to see the property after she said she sealed the deal. And the drive-through was right there at the beginning of the road.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty immediately that we got out and took a picture next to the sign. She was so excited to see it. And
now that's really interesting too, because she has stated on numerous occasions that she really didn't know who Jeremy Hales was, right? She had no idea. She had seen him in passing, maybe. She wasn't a fan. And yet, she was just picking up property. And yet, when you see it, and of course, that doesn't fit. That doesn't compute with everything that you saw play out anyway. I mean, her tale doesn't make sense. But what Jamie says here, she's saying right from minute one, this was something that she had been told about. By the way, if you would today, Sunday is a weird day. Actually, weekends are so weird to live stream on anyway. But Sunday, out of the time slot, if you'd let people know that we are live, that would be great. Much appreciated too. It is a weird time in the day to live stream. If you would hit that like button, make sure that you tell the algorithm that you love it. And if you want to go further and you would like to support the channel, make sure that you send the ye old breadsticks. They are definitely appreciated. Let's continue here.
Of course, let me know that it was in all the videos and it was a famous sign.
Yes. And it was
relating to him. So
yes,
so it's famous.
Okay, so you did that first before you even arrived at the.
So the sign was well known. It was in videos. The person there was famous, and if the sign is very well known, and you're posing with it and saying, "Hey, I'm moving across the street from this thing," doesn't that vicariously make you famous? I mean, that's you have to look at the mindset there. Again, I'm not saying it does, but as far as the person thinking it, if they are living across the street, see, again, the way that this was approached through depositions and statements, it was approached a little bit differently on the story, from MP. This story, I don't know, you take it how you want, but I think it makes a lot of sense this way.
Property.
Right, it was just a little bit ways down the road, but we stopped there first. Yeah.
Okay, and that's when the pictures took place.
Yes.
Did she want you to hop out of the car and take pictures?
I honestly don't recall.
Okay.
It's been a long time. I just know that we got out and took pictures. I would be assuming yes. I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal to me.
Right, right. And this is before you actually went to the property, before JH came with his big tractor to take the big tree out of the driveway, right?
Yes, we stopped there first, and then we went and parked down the road.
Okay.
Because you couldn't get into the property.
Right.
We parked on the road.
Right.
A little ways down the road. So.
Yes. It's been a known thing that she had contacted him. Now, I don't have that evidence, so I can't confirm it, but that she had contacted him to ask him for assistance in removing that big tree because it covered the entire driveway going in, right?
I don't recall exactly how he became a part of that.
Right.
I just remember he was not on his tractor, first of all.
Okay.
Like, he came there and talked to us.
Right.
If I remember correctly, it was because he was wondering if we had bought, somebody there had bought the property, which would have been MP, wanted to know if they were the new owners or if they owned it because it had just became available.
Right. Right. But he was there because, well, you don't know how he wound up there, but she had contacted him to come and try to help her, and he wanted to make sure that the property was owned by her.
I believe that there was some messages where she had sent him. I couldn't tell you what the context was, but I know that she had some kind of contact with him prior to us going there.
Okay.
She was super duper excited about it.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you something. When you were in Northport and you arrived, did she ask you and make you watch videos? Can you tell me about that? That part of it?
Yeah, pretty much immediately when I came in there, she was like, "You got to watch this. This is the guy that's going to be across from us. This is the famous YouTuber."
Yeah.
And put on his show.
Right.
I actually have a picture of that I've sent you.
Okay.
Where she is with the remote, and you can see Jeremy's JH. Sorry.
That's okay. No, don't worry about that. That's okay.
Okay. But can see his show in the background.
Yeah. So, okay. So I will put that as evidence in the end of this interview, just so.
Well. Yes, you will see that too. So, interestingly enough, somebody who doesn't like Jeremy at all, doesn't watch his show at all, and yet you can find pictures of that very thing transpiring. Doesn't that sound a little questionable? It's weird. Hey, by the way, there's 4 super chats, so I'm going to read them really quickly. So if you have something you want to throw in or ask in this or say in a timely manner with it, I think that'd be fun. MaxLab kicked it off, of course. Thank you, MaxLab, as always. Appreciate you, my friend. Floated Girl, thank you for the sticker right there, too. I saw that roll in. I love those. Like I said, those are cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. Abby, 3 months there. Watching from, Greece. Getting eaten alive by miles. Yeah, well, that's not fun, but, watching it sounds awesome until, the getting eaten alive part. It's getting even crazier and crazy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to get even crazier, too, folks. You watch. You watch. Rhea Riot, thanks for the 5. Being friends with Lynette is like, that's how it always started. Then later, yeah, there's running and screaming. Yes. It really does seem like that, doesn't it? And there's always a story. Like, there's always like a wild, crazy story where you're like, what in the world? How did things go from help me out moving in Northport to trying to set my life on fire online? I mean, that's, to me, man. All right, let's continue here. That's crazy, though.
And obviously other things he sent me, I'll go through and see whatever we wind up covering on any of those subjects, then I will use some of that as well. But I'll let you know beforehand what I'm going to use for your approval, obviously.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Anything I sent you, you're more than welcome to use.
Okay, thank you. Now let me see. Back to where we were. I jumped forward, now I'm going to jump back again. So she wound up, writing on your videos. And let me tell you something else that happened at that time that you're probably not aware of. Well, I would say maybe a year into it, or maybe less than a year into it, of her contacting you, she started writing to me. I don't know if you know about that.
No, I did not.
And I'm going to actually put some of that in the evidence as well. She began writing to me searching for you. Wow. She was obsessing over you. If you disappeared or she couldn't get a hold of you or didn't know where you were when you had things going on at that time, and she was trying to track your whereabouts through me, and how much you were so much like her, and just she would get upset with me if I didn't give her information because I didn't want it. I don't like to give people information. Right. I don't feel right doing that. So I would try to be very polite to her. And I have those messages. I'm going to put some of that out there.
Yeah, I never knew that.
It's very interesting if you watch the rhythm in the I didn't even think or realize that she had written to me at that time. I kind of forgot until I went all the way back and I went and looked and I said, wow. And I could see the pattern in those messages, but it didn't alarm me at the time. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know any of this. Obviously, I didn't even know who she was.
Right.
So I thought, okay, maybe she's somebody that.
Well, and for like right now, people have the gift of hindsight. I mean, this is true. All of us can look back at these moments and say, why don't people notice everything? Well, we've had the luxury of seeing this craziness on display for years, so everybody now has kind of a warning. But at the time, I mean, again, she's reaching out. Now, there are some claims you might be like, wow, that's pretty wild. Again, she claimed that they were trying to, Hales and others were trying to set up a then elected official to do something terrible too. Now, those kind of claims, again, you look at them and you think that's nuts. But I tell you, some of the stuff I've seen online, I might still look into it. For real. I mean, I've seen some of the crazy people get into some of the stuff we have seen in cases. Heck, this case, some of the stuff we've seen in it. If you were to tell me that some of that stuff, like at the beginning, when I first started covering this, it was when the protective order was coming up. So there was crazy already. But it just spiraled into lunacy. You know what I mean? As it spirals in that direction, if you were to tell me again that it was going to take that and roll that way, I don't know if I would have believed how crazy it would get. What's up, Hazel Monty? Thank you for the 10 there. I just hope that MP or LP, whichever B's will pass all of her name combos, times she's accused people, etc. We can put in one document and show it to the court. This would blow away any of her quote unquote truth out of the water. Actually, there would probably be questions about that kind of stuff. When you have her talking about her name combos and more, and they come up when she files different things in courts, with different name combination stuff, it makes it a question you could ask, or you could work it in a way that would work with a jury being like, because juries, you got to consider this too. In a trial, juries are conditioned by television. It's a jury of your peers. And you know how your peers are. They've learned everything they understand about any type of court. They learn, well, the majority anyway, have learned it from watching television. So when they hear something about aliases, they notice all of these weird discrepancies. Some of them would be written off by a few nicknames and a bunch of marriages, but how many? how many would manage to go that direction? You have to ask there. Andre, thanks to the 2 there. This passed, yes, this passed. It will come back to haunt LP in the end. I think it has. I think a lot of things have. Northport, other people being able to speak about this, because, you know, everything that gets stacked in ultimately is something that can be utilized. Again, she thinks when you state this stuff, by the way, this is all people speaking against her. No, everything is part of a potential case against you. Everything. And your lawyer was nice enough in federal case number 1 to open the door to quite a few things that would otherwise not be on the table. And that further was added to when you didn't turn over anything with discovery. When you refused to turn over so many items. We know they're there. They've been discussed in bankruptcy and more. You know, you have a lot of things, again, that typically may not be something you could discuss. But some of these cases, again, like some of this stuff that Bruce filed, whew, man. I was like, well, I guess filing that's one way to go. But let's continue.
That is just a friend of hers, I really didn't think a lot of it at the time. Now, going back, looking at it, it's pretty alarming to me what I see there.
Me too.
So, okay, so she wrote you on the video. She became your friend. When did you first, and I know it was before you met her, when did you first start hearing about the baby?
It was right before the baby was born.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember that. She actually had sent, and I apologize, I can't find it, but
Mm-hmm.
she had sent me a picture of the mother pregnant.
Wow.
Some things come up in my mind as we're talking as well.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. And
that's okay. Yeah.
I recall that she also told me a story that they were, the mother, the biological mother, was on drugs, and the baby would be born on drugs. And
interesting.
Yet, right. And it was pretty quickly after that the baby came.
Yeah.
And it is my understanding that she took the baby home.
Yes, she did.
From the hospital. All I know is she said she was adopting the baby. She asked me to be the godmother and would send me pictures periodically. I have many, many pictures.
Now there's an odd little tidbit too. Remember all the things that she says about Jamie Starr Johnson, all of the terrible things, and yet at one time she asked her to be the godmother of the child that she was adopting. So again, I realize that you can have an epiphany about a person, 2 people in your life, dozens of people. Again, they go from this proximity, they go from godparent of your child to pariah, monster. And like I said, it seems to transpire again and again. Even with ecosystem folks, like all of them. I'm not saying that these people are good people either, but everyone from Marla to freaking to freaking 2L, some of those. I mean, it's like clockwork. I have the expectation. Even Silverman, that did a good job for her and got her out liability in something when a case turned on her. Even he has somehow gone from a hero in the story to somebody that they are talking about suing for malpractice. It is the wildest stuff I've ever heard. Like I said, again and again on repeat, the heroes, they become the heels.
Of the baby from not only when I was there, but before and after Northport. She would send me pictures and keep me updated, and we would talk as friends throughout that time.
Did she send you pictures of her in the pictures or just the baby?
I think there's both.
I would like, yes, if you could send any that has her, I would like to see that. If it's very, very early on.
There is.
Before she had the baby, did she send pictures of her in the hospital by any chance?
Not that I recall, no.
Okay.
I don't believe so. It was after they were home.
When did she first ask you to be the godmother of the baby?
It was immediately when she found out that she was going to get this baby that she said was her miracle baby.
Yeah.
That she had been praying to God for.
See, this is a good point from Lorraine. She noted, you know who else was told that? The grandson's girlfriend. She was also told that she would be the godmother. So, like I said, and you see some of the weird stuff, like some of the statements about the girlfriend were bizarre, like some of the things that ended up recorded that I have heard were very bizarre. But they go from victor to villain. They go from somebody that's worthwhile having around to this terrible thing. And again, I'm not saying those people, they might have been the worst people on earth. I don't know. It's the pattern that speaks. How many people, again, when you have even your lawyers, when they're even brought in because you didn't get what you thought you wanted, who's going to be next on that? How many people? How many of them? I wonder. Now, some of them do turn on her too. I mean, we've seen part of the ecosystem. Ray, for example. We saw how he went. God, some of the stuff that he said in that video still grosses me out. But yeah, I mean, by and large, it's like it's like these circle of people, this collection. They're just all the time backstab. It's like a circle of people that are just sticking each other in the back. I imagine them. It reminds me of it reminds me of that movie one time, where they had people line up and they did I'm gonna say a luck test. You had a survivor at the end. Well, it's like this thing. You have somebody at your back though, and yeah, they're always there. Which ones will stab you in the back? And it sounds like out of this certain crew, a bunch of them did.
So long.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time I thought, well, that's great,
Yeah.
especially thinking that the mother was drugged out while she was pregnant. Of course, I was glad that the baby was not in that situation.
And I want to say that we obviously don't have evidence that she was drugged out. This is something that was said to you. So we're not making that accusation at all toward the mother.
No.
I haven't spoken to the mother, so I haven't asked her side of the story, obviously, at this time.
I know there was a story she told me that the mother was so disrespectful and was a problem, and that she had urinated on MP's couch right before the baby.
Do you know how long that can happen when you're pregnant and
Yeah,
you're
I was
about to
about
go in
to
labor too. you can get contractions.
I was about to say, that happens. That can actually happen. That could be part of pregnancy. Unfortunately, that's a very embarrassing portion of pregnancy for some people. But it's pregnancy, So unless there's more to that story.
Actions, beforehand, even days before, sometimes a couple of weeks before, you've been pregnant too. And that can happen. So I can't see that as being something that the mother did on purpose. Is that what she told you? Is that what she told you, that she did it on purpose, or it was an accident?
Absolutely. No, it was absolutely on purpose.
Did she said that. She said that she did it on purpose.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that she did.
She said that.
Okay.
Correct. That was alleged by her.
Do you know how long the mother was staying with her? I know that MP got her there. She brought her there. But did she say anything to you about bringing her there? Did she say, I'm going to bring the mother here, and what her plans were? Any of that part of it?
Not really. She just stated that the mother would be living with them until the baby was born.
Do you know how long?
That she wasn't using. I honestly,
to ensure that she wasn't using. Well, if she was ensuring that she wasn't using, how would the baby be born drug addicted?
And that's
But
not happened, and immediately brought the baby home.
There's a different part of the story that you're probably not aware of. And I'm not going to break that part of it right now because I think it's important that I have evidence with it when I do it, and it probably shouldn't be now. But I do want to say that I'm privy to information that was given to me by MP as to why there were drugs involved, who fed them to the mother, and I'm not going to say more, and please don't go anywhere with that. But do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
I have information on that, and I found that to be the most alarming thing in this situation, because if a child is born and they're showing any drugs obviously in the system and CPS is involved, you know what's going to happen. CPS is not going to let that baby go home with the mother, the birth mother, the bio mother. But if somebody were to drug the mother or get drugs into the mother's system, feed the mother drugs, knowing the mother is pregnant, that person would know that baby would have an issue at the birth with drugs, right?
Correct.
And that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to drive past that right now, but I'm just putting that out there. I've been given information that I'm at this time I'm not going further with it, but it's very alarming to me.
That's very sad.
It's very alarming.
Yeah.
So her telling you that the baby would be born drug addicted, and then also telling you that the baby stayed with her to ensure she wasn't on drugs are two different things. How do you say two different things? Not you, her. How does she say that the baby's born drug addicted on one hand, and she's all over the internet writing posts saying she has a drug baby.
Correct.
This is a drug baby means the baby was born drug addicted. She is saying this in numerous posts. I mean, have you seen her say those things?
I mean, she said those things to me.
Right.
I don't know how much she posted.
It doesn't make sense.
I wasn't really following her as much as she was following me.
Right. That I know too.
That makes
by
sense
her messages
as well.
to me whenever
that's an interesting statement.
When you would when there was a time when.
See, that's an interesting statement too. How did she end up in people's lives there? Well, she wasn't really, or I wasn't really following her as much as she was following me. So, in retrospect, you also don't think to keep proof of things that happened years ago. See, in the ecosystem, I've noticed the only thing they keep receipts on is each other. Have you noticed that? Like for me, I can imagine that. Like if down the road, heck, if you were to ask me, hey, what did Megan say 3 weeks? I have no idea. But do you have any? No, I don't keep screenshots and shit on my friends. I keep them on stuff that I'm referencing or researching. But these people, man, I mean, they blow my mind. Like I've seen the ecosystem pulling out receipts on each other, and maybe they do need them. Maybe when it's scammer be scammer, you probably should have those things around. But that's a crazy way to live, isn't it?
You were not home for a while. I don't want to say what it was because that's your personal business. She was frantic in my messenger looking for you, and getting very upset with me that I wasn't giving her information. I was really, really just staying as neutral as I could and as kind, as polite as I could with her. But that I will be publishing in this video. Okay, so we have the beginning. We have the baby. She asked you to be the godmother. So you were the godmother before you ever met her?
Correct. It was through our online conversations and on the phone.
Right.
We would talk on the phone.
Okay.
But she asked me before I ever went to Northport.
Let me ask you a question. As a mother, because you're a mother, would you, if somebody said to you, or would you actually go to somebody you don't really know, you just met them, or you followed them online, and because they had a little fame going, would you think that person would be someone you should have as a godmother to your child if you don't know their history, don't know their life at all?
That is concerning.
So it's kind of strange, right? But it also made you probably feel good because, wow, she really believes in me, and I know who you are, so I believe in you too. But I know you. I've met you many times. You and I have traveled. You and I have been in D.C. We have been together, so it's not like I don't know you and you don't know me. We've been through some thick and
Well,
thin.
that's a good point too.
Absolutely.
That's actually a good point. Random people that you meet online. I've never met a random person online that that I would be like, hey, you know what? Why don't you be attached to my family in some way? I would take those things very seriously, you know, very, very seriously. But maybe that's just myself versus some other people out there, you know. I'm not really sure there. God, these people. They're so crazy, man. Thank you, by the way. I think we've gotten close to 2,000 on a Sunday. That is wild. So we're pulling around 2,000 people. Thank you for being here. We are going over the insane story that we hear with Jamie Starr Johnson. And why is it insane? Because everything that we have been told, I'm not going to say everything, but a lot of it, the pieces don't fit. So, Lynette, who's telling the truth here? Is Jamie lying about everything? Every single thing she's bringing up? I mean, I'm curious about that. While I'm doing this too, I'm looking at the transcript last night. Do you realize last night, by the title Only Me, they brought up that guy? You know, and that's when the transcript catches it. But they brought him up with that title by itself 55 times. That's how much they talked about him. I haven't looked up David or anything like that 55 times so far in that transcript. It's so crazy. Oh, let's keep going.
It was not an expected friendship.
Exactly.
To a very
sisterhood.
meaningful
Yes.
and long. I mean, it's been
many years.
6 years.
Yes, it's been a long time.
Long time.
And we even spent time in other courthouses together. And you know, I've been there for you, and we just been there for each other. You were there for my health. I mean, there's so much between us.
Absolutely.
So to me, I can understand you because I know who you are. That would be somebody offering that to you would make you feel very good, obviously, because wow, they believe in me. And
right.
and what a beautiful thing to be the godmother of a gorgeous little baby in a story that you thought was a miracle story, obviously.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you feel a little misled by that now that you kind of look back at all of this? Like, it doesn't make sense to you the way that happened?
Not really. Not really.
Right.
I did form a bond with the child.
Yeah.
When I first went and visited, as well as...
That's a sad part too. How many people have formed bonds with that kid that end up being out of the kid's life within a small amount of time? And that's not just sad for the people that happens to. It's sad for the child. You know, ultimately that child should have positive bonds, and that doesn't work out. Martin, thanks for the 5. Lynette's life. It's in perpetual darkness. A normal person turns on the light. Yeah. When that happens, you know, normal people are. Lynette needs a light. She sets fire to her friend. Yeah, there's always. And again, she finally, with this craziness with the money, she finally has the things she talks about for sure. She has people that used her for her voice. She has people that stole from her, that inserted themselves into her and her child. I mean, she has all the things she has always talked about right here, one place. Boom. And actually, she says that after contacting, so there was another statement today. She said she would be using all resources, contacting all places. I believe that's FBI and more. She went on a rant too. Apparently, in order for her, she's afraid that I'm going to grill her with other questions. That's why she doesn't want to talk to me. I'm going to talk about that on another live stream. But she is afraid to talk to me because she is afraid I will ask her questions about the other cat. Like for one thing, couldn't you just say nothing about Jeremy Hales? I've heard you not able to do that, but could you just not answer anything about Jeremy Hales, period? Like, not talk about him, period? Because ultimately, the money and Lisa are a different thing altogether. Are you afraid I'm going to find out things about how money was allocated? Do you know about money being spent a certain way? I'm curious because I know certain things supposedly came out of the money, everything from taxes to there's an argument, I suppose, about the expert report. At first, 2L said there was fundraising that paid for that. And then was like, no, that didn't happen. But again, I don't see people taking that out of their own pocket. And we don't know the price on that. I'd be curious what she was told the price was, because the price should have been a few $1,000s. But I'm curious how much that ended up, quote unquote, costing too. And I'd love to see the breakdown, because after this $6,000 guy for bankruptcy, I'm curious what other things cost too. Hey, Rhea Ride, DM on X. Okay, I'll check that out too. All right, let me continue here. I'll check it out.
When I came back to Otter Creek, the baby was all over me, crazy attention, like crazy. And I loved her. I still love her dearly. To have her ripped away from me, that was pretty devastating.
Yes, and sudden.
I may have been a weird situation in the beginning.
John Cook's a salty little bee. John Cook is so mad. You know what? I'm not offering to help you, John Cook, by the way. John Cook wants to talk shit. You know what, John Cook? I've never been accused by the person that I live with of ever doing anything appropriate with, let's say, little ones. Can you say the same thing, John? You know, if it were me too, and you would have threatened me, I would have been like Jeremy Hales. I'd have dropped elbowing you so fast, it'd have made you freaking think that you'd been kicked into space, because you would have seen constellations, you know? You think you're a man, you're walking from like kneecap to freaking belly button wrapped up like a mummy, and you talk smack and stuff, man. Other people have to put in your work. You know, you're such a man, by the way, that a stranger in the UK has to take care of your family. How does that make you feel, John? A stranger in the fucking UK, and then you let somebody worm their way into your life, steal all of that money that could have brought something new for them, and you're sitting there licking their bootstraps. What a man. You are such a man, aren't you? So tell me again how badass you are, you know? Such a man. A real man can actually provide for their family. A real man doesn't have to live in a tent on their own property because people don't want him in the same 15 by 20 because of allegations that came up. How many times have you been accused of abuse and more, by the way? I heard that you keep your ex-wife in a bottle in the shed. That's pretty horrendous, man. I mean, what a real man, man. Like I said, women and children, they may be terrified of you, but if you ever want to really step to something, come down. You can find my address anytime. But when you hobble your ass up here, you know, you be stepping to a man. You won't be stepping to a little kid and an old lady. This guy talks a lot of trash. It's funny, though. Like I said, he can't even keep the lights on without outsiders. He has to blame it on Jeremy Hales, because ultimately his failure, it isn't Jeremy Hales' fault. It's his own fault. His whole life, it seems like this just string of failures. And they've talked a lot of threats and a lot of trash, how they're going to put one in the dome of the guy across the street, how they're going to feed them to the alligators and more. Man, what an amazing guy. Like I said, very good at intimidating women, though. I mean, hey, you can scare people like Shara. Woo, man. I swear, what's up with these lunatics that attract? They attract people like this guy and fucking weirdos like paint chips. I mean, oh man, the only thing scared of you, son, is clean living. Maybe a kidney. If you got a kidney and a transplant, that would be its worst nightmare. But other than that, it's scared of you. They're trying to talk smack though. Oh my god, it's so funny. I love it when they try. I love it when he tries to play like at being a man. Like I said, it's real easy to pretend at it when you're groveling. I mean, he grovels to the people who stole his money. I mean, the guy who gave the money to the family was like, "Yo, dude, why don't you get it?" And he's like, "Well, let me pucker up to her butt cheeks. Maybe if I do it enough, she'll give me a few dollars sliced off of it." You know what's funny is the early statements by Lynette said that, John, you're obsessed with that money. You're obsessed with getting it for yourself. Is that true? Because I saw those tweets. There was something else. Oh, this guy, man. It is so funny. When they have the chance to actually do something positive there, he's like, "No, I'd rather live in a 15 by 20. Man. Maybe one day, maybe we'll talk about some more stories about you, John. I found out some really interesting stuff about you, by the way. I've been saving it for a rainy day. Would you like that? Would you like to hear those, John? What might I have found? What would you think I found on you? But anyway, let's continue. Yeah, I tell you, man, these people, I mean, they talk such big games, and it cracks me up because, again, do you have the gas to come here? Would you have to borrow the gas money to come and threaten me? Oh my God. He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to talk a little smack. Just a minute. I got to go over to the porta potty, outside of, oh, well, we don't have air conditioning anyway." It's going to be a really bad winter, sir. And I hate it for your child. I hate it. Well, that's if you're not your child, but I hate it for that child. That's the one thing. But you folks, I don't give a fuck about you. I actually don't give a fuck about Lynette Preston either. I just would find it really funny to slam dunk on Lisa. But if you want to, if you want to take their, well, what can you call it but abuse? If you want to take that every night and you want to lap it up like a little dog and say, "May I have another?" then cool. I mean, that's on you guys. What a loser there. Let's continue.
It bloomed. I gave it my all and my heart, and it was genuine for me, for sure.
I know, and I know your heart, so I know you're genuine. Jamie, I'm going to say something about you. You've watched me do my journalism for over the years, right?
Yes.
You've seen me handle a lot of stories, and you know how I am and how I do it, and I get in there, don't I?
You sure do. You helped me out a lot. And some charges that I had against me went away because of your sleuthness.
Yes, thank you, love.
for you doing that, and it was very much appreciated. And to have something, I would have never been.
You would have been in prison, which is scary.
Yeah.
But here's the thing I want to say. In all the years I've worked with you, and you have watched me in your cases, not only in your cases but in other cases, I work with a lot of people. And I do have people that I've worked in their cases, getting their discovery files and everything. And there are some people that have never once lied to me in cases. You, Miss Jamie, are one of those people that.
Yeah, I mean, in some of that, that's one of the things I've enjoyed about certain folks. Oh shit! Oh my God, I'm gonna die. Blah. Thanks for the fun. LMNOP posted the handwriting expert was 14,000. What? That I can go on his. I can. Oh my God. I've Oh my God. Holy moly. Oh. What? Is that true, Lynette? That expert witness there, expert witnesses cost around $5,000 to $6,000. Now, an expert witness can cost you 15 or more. That guy that you got, though, look up his name. He has been discredited in so many different states and jurisdictions. He's not allowed to testify as an expert witness in many places. He has been debunked and discredited. And in fact, there was an interesting interview that he did one time where he was telling people how he could take your handwriting and he could tell that he told this woman, I can tell that you had trauma pop up in your life when you were a little girl about, I think it was 8. That's a parlor trick. That's not based in science in any way, shape, or form. And they laughed and laughed about it. But that's what you paid for. And I would be stunned, stunned to find out that you actually paid 14. I'm not saying you didn't get told that, but if you guys paid $14,000 for that loser, holy God, $14,000, you could have brought in the best people in the field. Like, no joke. And did that come out of the money? Oh my God, man. Holy crap. Man, $14,000. Can you send me the screenshot where she said that, by the way? I need to see that. Did she just post that or something? Did I just overlook it? I mean, my God. Oh, Lord, you have to excuse me. I mean, that hit me like right out of the blue there. $14,000. Like that's, See, that would be with court appearances and everything. You don't usually pay court appearances ahead of time and stuff. Just for one expert witness. God, dude. What did you get out of that, Lynette? You got a piece of paper that, again, if you're curious about it, Lynette, for real. We did a live stream talking about the guy. I searched his name one day. I got coffee and a cigar out, and during the time it took me to, I'm going to say 5 minutes. That included getting the coffee situated, cutting the cigar, and getting it lit, and searching the name. I had found so much controversy under that guy's name that you would not believe it. But I would be stunned if he was allowed to testify. If you guys went out and, I mean, that is insane. And I thought you guys spent about $3,000 to $5,000, honestly. I thought that's because that's what it states on his website, around $5,000. If the number is 14, like you said, woo, baby. Woo, baby. Oh, my God. That is nuts. Anyway, let me continue this. But that is, I mean, that is a wild amount if that was actually stated there. Yeah, Stacy notes. Look, thanks for the 10 months there, by the way, Stacy. Thank you. Between 300 to over 800 per hour, with an average case potentially costing about $1,200 to $2,500 for him. Yeah, you can look at his website, his claims. She also claims he's the best handwriting expert in the nation. You know who said that about him? He did. He put it on his own website. He's actually not the best person in there. He made that claim. I mean, I could claim that I'm the best streamer in the galaxy. That doesn't actually make it true, but I can claim that. It's so amazing. Oh my God. Apparently though, I've gotten John Cook really butthurt. He's really afraid that Lynette Preston will talk to me. And I think that's really funny. I think that's really, really funny. You would impede them because ultimately it's not your money. I also wonder this. If she ended up with $65,000, would she walk away from you? Would she do it for real? She said she would in the past. Would that happen? Hey, Blah, thanks for the tune. Message on, on Facebook. Thank you, Blah, by the way. Appreciate you, my friend. Very much so. Man, I love these days. Okay, let's continue with this. I apologize. I was listening to this, but that just hit me out of left field. I got to check it out. All right, thank you.
Every single record I collected matched up to every single thing you said, right down to every little detail.
Yeah.
I'm quiet. I watch. I observe. I collect. And I talk when I need to. I don't talk when I don't need to. And you are very much that way. So I found that to be a little different in MP's case, and I'm obviously not going to get into the details why, because that's something that comes with evidence. Things didn't match up for me, and I want to know if you feel betrayed in any way, if you feel kind of shocked about some things that happened to you in this case that you didn't expect.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you were misled, or do you feel like do you look at yourself and think, how did I miss that, or anything like that? Because that's what I'm doing. I kick myself a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I've been one of the only people in all of this that has actually spent time, a longer length of time with that friendship, as well as the visit. Spent time in their home for 4 or 5 days. I don't recall the first time I was there. Maybe it was a week.
Yeah.
And then spent 2 months.
Yes, you did. That's a lot of time. You and I actually have a lot of things that I collected that we've never aired, which one day we need to revisit some of that, because it is amazing, amazing stuff. We will visit that in the future. Mm-hmm.
I agree, for sure.
Yeah, so the beginning, we covered the beginning, how you met her. You met her, she came onto your video. She was kind of showering you with gifts, sending you money to your foundation, wrapping her arms around you, loving you, filling you with love, making you the godmother of her child that she didn't even have yet, because it was right before you went there and she had the baby. It was around the birth that she made you the godmother, or right before that.
Correct.
And you hadn't met her. So then came the first visit. She invited you to Northport, correct?
Yes, for specific reasons.
And what year would that have been? Would that have been the same year as you went to the Otter Creek property?
Holy crap.
No,
yeah, so apparently Lynette wrote somebody telling them. She said to them, I don't know how you can't believe me. We have a $14,000 handwriting expert that shows I did not do the handwriting sons. I didn't do the sons. You realize that, God, I've been telling them over and over, look up the name of the guy and the word controvert. That's all you got to do. Thank you, though. This gives me a reason to cover him again. I mean, he has some of the decisions that have been noted against him are freaking wild stuff. They are wild. And I really would like to cover that again. So thank you.
No, I was about a year into the online virtual friendship.
Yes.
And I was invited. She wanted to get her house ready to sell.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same visit. It actually is. Let me refresh your memory. That would be 2021.
Yeah.
And that would have been July that you went to her Northport home.
Yes.
Would have been July 2021. Yes. And now you're going to tell me the rest of that story. But that is connected to the Otter Creek visit, because you visited during that visit, Otter Creek.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So that is your very
when I
first.
Was in Northport,
yes.
I visited Otter Creek with her.
Okay. So the very first time you met her was after the baby was born. And you were already the godmother, and did she bring you there? How did she get you there?
She did. She paid for a plane ticket for me to go there.
Wow.
And a plane ticket for me to go home. She said if I needed anything while I was there, she would take care of it. Didn't really need a whole lot, but she did provide food and things like that at the house.
And you went to work when you got there, and obviously you saw the videos first. She had you watch several of his videos.
Several of his videos.
Yes. Was she showing
to the point where I was actually kind of irritated with it.
Oh boy.
Because that's all I heard.
Yeah.
It was all about JH, and she was gonna living next to him, and the property would be able to bring such a big amount of attention.
Yeah.
For stuff.
So there again, you have the person that supposedly wasn't talked about at all. Wow. So Jamie Starr Johnson is stating that you knew who it was. You thought you would get all this attention and all of this acclaim from having your famous neighbor. Huh. That would make sense, by the way. That would. I don't know why, even with your own story, Lynette, this is the problem that we run into. Lynette, let me tell you this. You can know that somebody's famous. You can even be excited that they're there and disagree with the rest of the things that are stated. But you go in and you argue and make up multiple accounts of the same thing that happened. I have heard the tractor thing, for example. I have heard, I think, 6 different tellings of that. You know, with either slight differences to just enormous ones. And what's the point in changing up that thing? See, if you lie about the little things, people won't believe you about the big things. That's why people, when, you know why people believe folks? Because their stories, they seem pretty meta. Now, again, you can embellish stuff in it. We all, as humans, we all sometimes become storytellers, you know? So there may be some embellishment here and there. We also see it through our own eyes. So that's a thing. That accounts for discrepancies between you telling it and another person. But when you have discrepancies where you almost argue a different tale from the thing that you talked about, yeah. See there.
He had a fan base. He had a fan base, right?
Absolutely.
And you had did you have a fan base?
Absolutely. I sure did. I was at 6 months into it, I was a nationally known
Yes, you were.
advocate and activist for family rights.
Yes, you were. And then when we went viral, forget it. We were all over the place. So you had a fan base.
Yeah.
So
I absolutely did.
So
I had a hater base too, but that's,
well, everybody,
Well,
you know,
that one, I
Jake has
hear
a hater
that.
base. We all do.
I would have to say that I feel his fan base was very positive and not a lot of people against him until all of these things went down. That's when I saw a gradual forming of this hate group towards him.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, by the way. Pickled Tink, thank you for the 5 there. I'm in the process of emailing you answers I got from LMOP. All right. I will be looking for those. Everything that comes in.
Very, it's sad,
Thank
actually.
you, by the way.
You know,
it is.
I'll tell you, and I'm going to say this in a nutshell. You know, when we began and you were asking me to get involved in this case, I didn't want to. I didn't want to cover her story, did I? Did I tell you? I told you I would look into the town story, though, right?
Well, that's the way. See,
but at first I didn't want.
That's how you get baited in too. You get baited in because there's a child involved. It's very easy to do that as well. It is. It's very easy. It's very easy to have somebody tell you that, you know, this is going on with a child or that's going on, and you're like, oh my God, let me make sure that I cover this, and for sure I'll help you out with that or whatever. You know, again, it's very easy to fall into those pitfalls. I don't begrudge anyone for believing these people at a time. I feel bad that people spent thousands and thousands of dollars propping up people that now they don't like any of them. Ultimately, too, I hope Lynette understands she did her own damage, but Lisa's done a lot of damage to her, Elizabeth Lake. A lot of damage. John Cook's done damage to her. Like, that's the amazing thing as well. When he's going on and telling different stories than her, he makes you look like a clown, Lynette. An absolute clown. And congratulations, I guess.
I look into any of it. I saw the videos and I thought something about her case my gut was telling me, I don't know what the reason was, but my gut was saying...
She was pushing me to have you cover it. That
Yes.
is why I did.
I know why.
Issue with you too.
Yes. I kind of ignored it for a while, several weeks, and then finally, I said, you know what, I'll look at the videos. And there was something that caught my eye, but that's a whole political story, the whole town story. But there's two sides to every story in that case. So things aren't always what you see them to be in videos until you get into the nitty-gritty of the records and getting to know people and seeing people in the light that they really are.
Right.
That's when you're like, oh, something hits you in the face and the bell goes off. You know what I mean?
That's exactly how I felt at one pretty quickly after I got there in Northport.
Yes. Okay. So when you got there, you first watched the videos and she was pretty much obsessing over him and, discussing his fan base and how that would benefit her life and all those things with you. Then did she ask you to start cleaning when did she ask you to clean, get the place ready?
So that was before I arrived. She had pretty much told me she had nobody to help her.
Right.
And with having the baby, it was too much for her. She just really needed help. And I offered to help her. She made it feel like nobody was going to help her get that ready. And of course, I wanted to see the baby.
Of course.
As a godmother.
Of course. And was she getting the place ready to sell because she was going to be looking at that property in Otter Creek?
She had already had her eye on it. But yes, the whole point of getting Northport's house ready, which when I arrived was definitely a mess. The living room was the only thing that really didn't have a lot of clutter, a lot of mess in it. I know at one point in her bedroom, before I cleaned that up and picked all the clothes up, she would only have a section of the bed where she could sleep in.
Wow.
Because the other side was filled with stuff.
Yeah.
And at the time, JC was not.
This is a perfect statement, by the way. So my man said, my mom died. My mom didn't die. Which statement were you supposed to believe? Yes, again. I mean, that blew my mind. When you hear it in the same setting, my mom just died. My mom didn't die. In the same setting for the same person. It just, yeah. When you run into that kind of stuff, it makes things hard to believe, right?
Living in the same bedroom.
Right.
That person was in a back bedroom, and I did not do anything in that room. But yes, it was asked of me. It was kind of the known that I was going to come there and help watch the baby while she cleaned. However, it turned out the other way. I did most of the cleaning.
So she needed you for a purpose, which was to get that house ready, to get it on the market.
Yep. She wanted to get it on the market as soon as possible because she had already set sight and she was going to be getting this Otter Creek property.
I know you had told me, obviously, in text, she already knew exactly where he lived in Otter Creek.
Oh, yeah. No, it was very well known that she was moving there because it would be a good property for her turtles. But it was right next to him, so therefore she felt she could get a lot more assistance with her. I don't even know what you call it. Rescue.
Fundraising and things like that she was doing.
Correct. She felt like she could get donations and things like that.
Yes, that's concerning to me because if you think about a person seeing somebody in a video, kind of the way it happened with you, somebody saw you in a video and suddenly they're pulling you into their life and then some horrific things happened in 2023, which
I want to say it was 22.
No, it wasn't 22 because I didn't come in. I didn't come into this till 23, and you were there when I was talking to her. Remember, it took me weeks. I think some people started telling me she started also messaging me about the case, and I believe that was like April, May. I didn't really start looking into it, I think, until a couple months later. But I was really.
I believe I went there right in.
It was 2023.
And it was June,
July 2023. That's when.
Oh my God, man. By the way, this is random, but while I'm doing this, I'm looking through the transcript for yesterday and they're talking about the quilt. You remember the quilt for the memorial? So there's a new story for the quilt for the memorial now. It is so bizarre, but it is so disrespectful. A person made an Afghan and said that it cost hundreds of dollars to make. And that person got called a liar, told that an Afghan only costs $100 to make, which is crazy, by the way. The amount of work that goes into making a proper quilt is, but this person wanted it to go to the memorial, and it not only didn't go there, it was just unceremoniously dumped on a random person in a live stream after the fact. That's the new thing, and with a giant middle finger. I can understand why that's what you get for backing these people, man. That's what they do to you. And I'm not saying that to be rude to the person that gave that. Man, everything people like, if someone sends me something, everything is appreciated. Homemade crafts, man, I see the time and the love that goes into that. And I can't imagine treating somebody poorly, just dumping it online and being like, somebody in my chat said they needed a blanket, so here you go. I mean, what? Oh, anyway, I was just reading that. I thought, man, that's gross and disrespectful. Oh, Debbie dropped 5 gifted memberships, by the way. Thank you, Debbie. That is awesome of you. Much appreciated, too. Thank you very much. Sincerely, thank you. Thank you, folks, for being here, too. Over 2,100 again. You cracked 2,000 on Sunday is amazing. So that's awesome. And Bill, thanks for that. I emailed you a screenshot of the overview of BBB suing Larry. Yeah. About that. That might be something to talk about soon. Yeah. I'm not shocked by hearing about new lawsuits, by the way. Not shocked about it at all. You know, like I said, BB really hates Larry Foreman. I saw somebody posting parts of that earlier, but you know, BB hates Larry Foreman. BB also, I think the 2 main people that he just truly hates beyond repair or reproach or Hale's Larry, then it gets into the others, like from Megan, and it has a drip down effect. But he really hates Larry Foreman to a level I don't even understand it. I can't rationalize like the hate level there. So not surprising. Larry's one, you bite off something with that guy. Larry ain't the one. Like Larry's somebody you probably don't want to dance with. He's probably not the dance partner. He's not. He's a very effective lawyer. He's shrewd. He's a smart lawyer. There's plenty. You don't have to take my word for it. There's plenty of clips online you can watch. You can see him decimating people. So yeah, what a mess, or what a stupid mess. Wanda, thanks for the 20 there. Thank you, Wanda, by the way, too. Hey, Tug, have a good day. Thank you. I much appreciate that. I'm having a good one tonight. I'm going to video game with the girls and the family. After this, we're going to sit down. We're going to rack it up and have a good old time. It's going to be a great one, you know. Hey, S. Sean, thank you for 20 there, too. Breadstick money for a new PC. Indeed. This thing, it does not want to screenshot now. I was like, what in the world? So I guess I'm going to have to retower. I mean, I hate doing that. I do. Yeah, SF. That's true, too. Through the 2. Because Larry is everything BBB would never be. Maybe. Maybe there. I don't know. It's been an obsession. Was it because he told him no? Is that really what decided to put him on this path? Because he told him no? Was it because in the Stark case, he thought he was going to get Larry to step out and kind of agree with them, and ultimately that didn't happen? I mean, hey, how do you think for the find there? Larry successful and respected? Yes, indeed. That is true, too. He is very much successful and respected in all times of group. And, you know, one of the things that that one second. One second there. Yeah, I'm checking on something too. I've got there's about 5 different things brewing right this moment. That, yeah, I heard something about that coming down the pipe. I'd heard, there was somebody had tripped across the filing for it. I was like, all right. So I want to read it first. I want to make sure that I go through the whole thing and I'm prepped on that. But I'm not surprised at all. I'm not. But going after, man, it just shows, again, how many wild things too has Bruce said about DUI guy. He does remember he wrote letters about him, right? And added him into all kinds of crazy statements. So that, I could smell counter lawsuits in the air too, potentially. That'll be interesting to see. Jack's mom, thanks for the tip. Oh, yeah, he hates Randy too. She's jealous. Yes, I should include Randy there. Yeah, he probably, for his top 3, he hates Hales, he hates Randy, and he hates the UI guy. I should have included Randy. You were right. I a lot of times I forget to add Randy in because it's active litigation. So it just slides in one ear, out the other, whatever he says. But he hates Megan to a decent degree. I mean, notwithstanding, you can tell he does not like myself, but he doesn't hate me to the level he hates these people. And it is crazy to see sometimes. It is. And Andre, thanks for the 2 there. Larry's what BBB is not. A good lawyer. Well, we'll see. I've got to look through the court case, see exactly what ended up getting alleged with it. But yeah, that's kind of, it's not something we didn't think was coming down the pipe. I'm definitely not surprised by it at all. Man, some of these people. I mean, for real. When you follow this, it's going to make a really interesting discussion about everything that happened in this case. This potentially opens up a discussion about all of the backroom statements, shadiness, all of that. That potentially comes into play. That would be very interesting to see. Let's continue here.
It was. Okay. So before we go there, we're going to go back to Northport. You're cleaning the house. How many days did you clean the house before going to Otter Creek?
Oh, there were a couple more statements. Let me hit these 2 since they are on that topic there. Okay. Pam, thanks for the 5 there. BBB's biting up more than they can chew. Can't wait. It'll be interesting. Like I said, they're very good at opening the door for things that you might not want talked about. Might not. So let's see how that plays, right? Let's see. Oh my goodness. It'll be fascinating to see, Lord B, thanks for the 35-minute Fallen Heroes super chat and pre-chat didn't show. I've got to pull that up again. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that again too. Fallen Hero, love to you too, brother. Much love to you. Appreciate you, my friend. I will check that too. And thank you, buddy. As always, man. You're always here. Always appreciate it. Rickles, thanks for the 5. Larry is the living example of fulfilling Jeff's mission to do better and be better. Indeed. That is a good thing for both of them too. Props to both of them. Indeed. And now my favorites, thanks for the 5. I believe it's because Larry and Randy or everything BBB will never be a successful, competent lawyer. Well. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see what he claims. It should be a good read. So let's continue this. I know we've been, again, this is on Char's channel. You should sit down, listen to it all through. There's so many things that are going on today. It is just nuts. This stuff, it never stops. This will be another spinoff. What is this, 9 cases now? Is that right? 9? I need to sit down and label them all. You know, we have the Lips case. We have I mean, oh, we need to look at it all.
I don't recall exactly, but I would say a few.
Okay, so you were there maybe 3 days before the Otter Creek visit?
Yeah.
So 3 days before Otter
I
Creek.
believe I was there for a full week.
Okay.
Okay, so a whole
I'm
week.
not positive exactly, but it was a good period where I spent some of it cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
We did a doctor visit, and then we went to the property and looked at that.
Do you think when you were in the Northport house cleaning and things, did you work very hard to help your friend?
Absolutely.
I know how you are.
I worked the hardest I could.
Yeah.
Because I could see that it was important to her.
Yes.
And my understanding that it was going to be just her and the baby moving to Otter Creek, because of the conflict and issues that JC and P had.
Right.
They were very hateful towards each other, both of them.
Okay, so it was just going to be her moving there, but the thing that's strange about that, not what you're saying, obviously, but what she told you is he went with you to look at the Otter Creek property on that visit.
Yes.
He got in the car and went. So he was there looking at the property and working with what was going to go on in the property. If he wasn't moving there, I mean, doesn't that seem a little...
Yeah.
odd?
It does. It didn't really hit me. Because I wasn't actually a part of the deal.
Right, and you were...
I just heard what she told me.
Yeah.
It's not like I saw any paperwork.
Right.
I do know that if they sold the house, it would have been split between the two of them.
Yes.
Because they both owned it. That was my understanding.
Yes.
She was going to use her part to pay for the Otter Creek.
Right, the property. And that has already been on the internet, and we've seen that in multiple... Okay, so the house is all clean, and you had it looking beautiful. I know because I saw the pictures of the after.
Yes.
It looked beautiful. You did a great job. You did so good. You worked hard, and I know you did.
Didn't it?
Yes, it did, and it sold quickly, and you did such a wonderful job on getting that ready.
Thank you.
So now comes the day that everybody's going to hop in the car and head over to the Otter Creek property for the first time. During that same visit, during the first visit, you were in Northport. What does she say to you? Okay, we're getting in the car. Like, how did that all come about that day?
I just knew that she the whole time kept wanting me to see the property and wanted to go see it herself.
Yeah.
That's really all I can recall.
Okay.
I just remember she planned a day for us to go.
And was it a long drive? Maybe about 3 hours or so to drive?
It was a long drive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
imagine.
what was it like in the car? Like, was anyone talking? Like, who was driving?
I believe she drove most of the time.
Question.
No matter what she drove. It was always conflict between the two of them.
Conflict.
It was nonstop conflict.
I have had anybody that I have talked to that has ever had intimate contact with these folks. They note that it is always conflict. Always, you know, and Lynette, that's a terrible way to live. It is a terrible way to live. It's a terrible way for a child to be brought up, to have it. But it's also, it's a terrible way to live, period. Again, I don't know why in life there are the ashes of an ex in a shed that you say that man drove to her in. If that is legit, though, are you waiting to become ashes in the shed too? As that person marches on, you know, he starts a collective of those. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get why with so much conflict and animosity. I've heard it on videos, man. The what's his name? Thomas Collins. The one where he's had a few videos where he's been near that property. There was one specific one that stood out though. It was the video where he was talking about how they allegedly had a recorder in like what was it, a bird feeder, I suppose. They're walking around Tube Town. Well, when they were doing all of that, what blew my mind with it all was the yelling. It was so loud coming from Lynette and coming from John that when I took it and I fed it into AI to see what was being said, I was breaking down the different voice channels. It actually thought there was another speaker, that they had a bad microphone or something. So AI could not tell the difference between her and another person on the stream. I mean, think about that. It's crazy, isn't it?
Oh, right in front of the baby?
Always in front of the baby. I had to actually, like, they kept pulling me in, so I kept trying to, be the medium.
Referee?
Right, correct. And I mean, I gave him my opinion. I gave him, not only did I say things about how his behavior was, but I also told her how I felt about her behavior.
Right.
It was very egged on, very, I can't think of the word right now, but she basically would pull him into those fights.
Oh.
Always down talking him. And this all definitely happened in front of the baby. The baby was there. She had her 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And I will say that she was very frustrated with the baby a lot.
Yeah, that concerns me too. And I saw that too. And I heard a lot of things in phone conversations that, again, I'm holding aside because I'm not sure what step to take with what I've heard yet. It's, doing what it's going to do for now. But I understand what you're saying there. And there were many times that I had to say, please don't speak that way to her or I had to try to, and it was very.
So here you have two sources that are both saying that's the way things are. You have all these other people that state it too. Are all these people lying, Lynette? Every person that goes around there that is talked about, are they all lying about this, Lynette? Are they all saying, again, we've heard you on calls. We've heard the normal voice that you have there. And it's not good, Lynette. It's not good. I mean, I can understand, as parents, I think all parents can be frustrated. Just speaking real, any parent can be frustrated. It's how you handle that. Unfortunately now, you think about their living standard. One of the things that really bothers me with their living standard, they live in a 15 by 20. In that 15 by 20, you have people that are in open conflict all the time. You have a child that is in that. There is no walk away. There is no place to go. That's not good, Lynette. That's not healthy. It's not healthy for anyone involved. Again, you would have a way out too, but apparently, you know what, Lynette? I'm to the point. I think maybe I won't help you. I won't. If you and John Boy want to lose your money so bad, maybe you should. Maybe you should. Maybe you should keep your $14,000 expert eyewitness. You see where it goes. You see it goes nowhere. You watch that. You mark my words too. I bet you $500 that does nothing. I bet you that if that gets into a court, if it's ever placed in it, that the responses to it, it will make you so mad that you'll rue the day that you let somebody spend money on that versus some type of need you had. We'll see. I bet you money though. You mark it. You mark what I just said. I bet you $500 that is so poorly. That person is such bad news that was brought in that it'll do nothing for you. And if you keep saying you took it to the police, it would take minutes to knock that down. Minutes. Because that person is not credible. But anyway, and that's not a criminal thing anyway. But if it was, the person's not credible.
Painful for me. But I also want to say most of my interaction with her really was about the town. Because I was covering the town story. This is what a lot of people don't understand. I wasn't so much covering her story. It's just that my heart grew my care for the child grew in my contacts with her, in covering the town story. And
so you can see why I was so
torn and pulled in,
and definitely
yes.
Even to leave the property was difficult for me.
You didn't want to leave the baby like in that.
No.
I know. It makes me want to cry what you're saying right now, and I'm gonna probably cry anyway because Jamie, the things I've heard.
Look, Shara, I don't know if you'll hear me saying this. You can't save everybody. Sometimes you can't save anybody, and it's a sad reality. It is. Like I sit across from families and kids in some of the most horrendous situations. I did it for well over a decade. And it breaks pieces of you. As I would tell people, at the time, I didn't even like talking about things. After stopping working with kids, I told people I couldn't even talk about like anything that involved a kid because it bucks you up inside. Excuse the wording, but that is what I tell everybody. It just does. But it's not on you, man. Ultimately, there are government bodies that are supposed to take care of that, and they don't care. I mean, ultimately, they don't care. You talk about the truth of what you see, what you heard, and that's what you can do. It's not on you. William, thanks, Bob. It was more than saying no. At first, Larry said yeah. Then he had the audacity to research BBB, the case. And he found caused him to back off. Yeah, he didn't cover. I mean, that's true. He told BBB he could be on his show, and then he was like, I don't think so. In fact, maybe you should do X, Y, and Z. I don't know. It's such an obsession with Larry. Such a wild obsession with him. It is something else. It blows my mind sometimes. Let's see. Also, Dublin comes to Boston. Thanks for the 10 there, Tug. Those of us who know you search for the truth. We're here for it. Appreciate that. We're here for your investigative journalism from day one. Do you, Tug? Do you? Indeed. That's, I believe in that. I don't like what we've become as a society. I don't like the fact that people decide that you look at a story, you cover it out of the media. I'm not saying you can't do this. You look at the media and say, hey, this is going on. But if you decide to cover something, people don't research anymore. They don't look into who these clowns are. They don't do any of it. And that used to be something that people prided themselves on. It's so bizarre, isn't it? Pickle Tank, thanks for the 5 there. Tug, you can go to Otter Creek. Thank you, too. Standing in the Truth business chat. That'd be so much easier. Okay, I'll check it out for sure. I'll go look real quick. And thank you, Pickle Tank. I appreciate you, too, by the way. I also always like your name, too. It makes me laugh. I don't
want to leave. I didn't want to leave. Look, I knew I shouldn't be covering her case. I knew something was wrong. But I was also covering the town, so she was very helpful in helping me with town information. But the things that I heard were ripping my heart out, my heart out. And I didn't know what to do. And then there's outside things that happened that came into this. And this case is enormous, so I'm going to leave it at that for now.
We'll have to discuss the CPS visits whenever.
Yes, because there's a lot more behind it.
I helped clean up their camper. In Otter Creek as well, because it was so bad. Not the camper she stayed in, but that was the one
that he stayed in.
You
cleaned his. They had you clean his camper.
There was one day before the CPS came out that yes, I helped them clean. Not him, her. Only her and I.
Oh my goodness.
Kind of helped clean that up because it was
that's
so
an interesting story,
Were
isn't it?
you there when CPS arrived that day? The next day?
He was gone when I first got there in Otter Creek. He was in the hospital.
No, I mean
he wasn't there.
I mean,
yes, CPS came
while you were there.
Yes.
Did they speak to you at all? And I'm not going to ask you to tell me what they said.
They were outside. Mm-hmm. I stayed in my camper.
Okay, so you just kind of stayed out of the way.
Yes, I stayed out of the way.
Yeah.
It was not my place to say anything. I know that there was a time the police were there. I kind of stayed out of that as well, but she had called on JH a few times while we were there, the police, because of certain things that were posted, and she just was the victim in everything. Everything was his fault, and that's just a total 180 from when I started with her in Northport, how she felt.
Yeah.
She was idolizing and, you know, obsessing over him.
Yes.
And I got tired of it, you know. It was to the point where I was really tired of hearing it. But yet when I come back, everything had changed. When I came back to Florida that second time, it was a completely different. She was being attacked and the victim, and how he had turned on him. This was literally all she talked about the entire time we were there. It was obsessive.
Oh, wow.
And it was I'm not going to let him do this to me. I kept telling her to quit posting things. She absolutely would not stop, no matter what kind of advice or guidance I tried to give her. It was absolutely obsessive.
Yes. The posting online was really a problem, because that kind of set the stage for, you know, what was to come. And it's not anybody's fault but the person posting. You know, you can't blame that on other people. So I understand what you're saying, and I witnessed it in the beginning.
And I had that experience, you know, that when I went through all that with myself, I would post things or try to explain myself, and it got to the point where I realized that wasn't the appropriate way to handle it.
No, you can't do it that way.
Offer that advice to her from experience.
You can't approach things that way. You can't describe things, you know. That's not how that works. At the same time, though, I mean, you know, sometimes it does work. I would say with the Lisa stuff, for example, it actually did work. You know, which is interesting, isn't it? You know, when she didn't explain her way out of it, though. The difference in the Lisa stuff and what has happened with Hales, she didn't just blah 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 blah. She posted proof. It's very strange, wasn't it?
It wasn't just like I was saying anything, oh, I don't know anything about this. I did. I was absolutely in the same situation.
You were caring.
I just stopped, completely went offline. This will be the first time that I've had any kind of contact with the online community at all. I completely erased myself from online.
Yes, and you did that for yourself and your family, and that is, I really think that is a beautiful thing that you did. I really do. You were doing the right thing.
My family comes first.
Of course.
And that's how come I have such a heart for heart. HG.
Yes, I know. I know you do. And it must have been, how did you feel when she was ripped from your life, just suddenly ripped from your life?
It was absolutely devastating.
That seems to happen a lot, too.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, now that you're bringing up...
I lost my friend. I lost...
See, that seems to happen a lot, Lynette. And that's not healthy for a child either. You know? I realize that you get to the point where you don't like people or don't trust them or whatever, you know? Or whatever. And that... That's so funny. I was looking at something here, you know. It's so bizarre. I'm looking at some of these comments that Lynette has put up in the last few hours, and the way they tried to describe away again. You know, they tried to play well, Lisa showed that he didn't. Again, they're playing semantic games. It's about what he wrote when he donated something. So bizarre, man. And they're playing do you think every screenshot was collected from Michelle Preston? Well, if they're doing that, that's the problem with not doing a fundraiser, doing it on a channel. Yes. In fact, Lynette Preston can make that point. Everything that was done in specific live streams is all hers. Yes. Absolutely. We said that multiple times. You're doing it wrong. You violated the law in the way that you approached it. Because if you do a fundraiser, you should set up something outside of YouTube. YouTube tells you not to do them for these very reasons. Oh, these people, I mean, it's awesome. They accidentally make the point for us. Oh, we're going to have so much fun continuing to cover all that. Oh.
As a friend, I lost a lot more that things because of her actions, but the biggest thing I lost was the baby. And that to me,
That's awful, man.
anything else didn't matter. I did cry for days.
Well, the baby lost you. The baby lost you.
Yeah, and that we had a very good bond. That baby was all over me. I helped watch
She thought
her
she was her godmother.
many times. If she wasn't out and about in the yard, she was holed up in that shed the whole time.
I think I have
the play area that they had for her wasn't even available because they were taking the dogs and having them do their business in there. So she couldn't even come out and get in the little fenced area that had her toys in it. It was absolutely inappropriate.
Yes.
You know, surroundings as well as the grounds were not
that is a
appropriate
heck
for
of an
little.
allegation. So she's alleging that the child couldn't even use a play area because it was used as a place for dogs to defecate. So the dog's going to the bathroom. That's so awful. Again, as we talk and we listen to this, do not contact anyone associated. Don't make phone calls about it. You let it play the way it is supposed to play. It will be, there will be court. I mean, again, they keep talking about how they're going to put it in court. So if that happens, that'll be interesting to see. That'll actually bring all of these statements to a head. That would be the dumbest move I could think of because, God, that would allow. What do you think outside parties would think about this? You know, what do you think just random outsiders as a, I mean, you want to roll the dice and say, oh, well, they'll agree because I feel like I've been maligned, really? Because again, your own statements on John, they're pretty damning. They're pretty damning. Stuff you, God, that'd be a big gamble. It'd be a big ass gamble. I realize though, none of these, you can't describe anything to those folks. It's sad though when you hear that. So awful.
Oh, baby girl.
Did you notice, you know, there's been a lot of talk about odor there because it used to be like a garbage dump on that property. And you mentioned something about odors to me in 2023 that were overwhelming.
It was overwhelming. And we actually, when we got there, there was a trailer full of trash that was so disgusting, rotted. There was a time that we actually went and took that one of the trailers that was actually, it was that trailer.
Mm-hmm.
It had maggots in it. And
oh my goodness.
We had to take it to the dump and literally it was so bad in our trailer. We had to do it. We got so sick of waiting that we took it there and literally tossed our cookies as we had to keep cleaning.
You got sick from it? Oh my
I can
goodness.
imagine so.
It was absolutely disgusting. Absolutely. It had to get done. She was going to get fine. And it was something that had to be done.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for, you know, me and my partner, it wouldn't have got done.
Right, right.
She was going to be fined because of
So you were working very hard. And I know you
was
also
going to be
mentioned that you had
fined
broke a
for
bone
it?
in your foot and she was trying to force you to work on the property and you couldn't do
Absolutely. Yes, I dropped a hammer on my foot on accident.
it. Okay.
Is that true, Lynette? You were going to be fined if you did not get that done? Oh. Have somebody doing it with a broken foot too.
And when that happened, go ahead and tell me what happened and what she was trying to make you do when you were in pain.
We'll still feed the turtles and sort through all the donations she got.
Mm-hmm. Donations? What donations?
Cleaning up after, like, the building of the turtle areas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were quite the mess. There was, I can recall, there was a big tub with just one little thing of wood in the middle where these baby turtles were. And it was in different than where the tortoises were. And it was so disgusting. And I felt so sorry for those little turtles because of the water being so nasty.
Did it look like green and brown? Like, what did it look like?
Yeah, it was nasty.
Not something you want to drink.
No, and should not be having live animals in it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it was very inappropriate to have any kind of live animal in it. And that goes for the tortoise stuff too. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the missing tortoise.
No.
There was a case of the missing tortoise that nobody could find. I hunted the entire property, got into the weed area looking for this lost tortoise. And when that happened, I had given up, and I walked right by the fence where the hole was, where the tortoise allegedly got out, where the ground then broke, and I was on top of the tortoise.
Oh, a big tortoise?
Yes, a large tortoise.
Like one of those real big ones that you can't really lift, like the real huge ones?
It was big. It was one of the bigger ones. There was two of them in the cage. I don't know what you'd call it. It's not a cage, but the pen.
Yeah.
And it had buried a hole, but it had actually just buried itself into the ground and couldn't be seen. So for her, she freaked out, stating that it was gone. So I did everything in my power to find it. And as soon as I stepped over that, I mean, of course,
you know why they do that, right? You know why they do that, because it can be about body temperature regulation. That means that they're not set up, that their environment, they need cooler, I would say, or warmer, depending on the time of year. But they need something because they're experiencing extreme climates. Plus, the other thing they'll do that for is when they're trying to find moisture, because they do not have anything to drink. So what that tells you, I mean, you know, they'll do it for safety or comfort, but not to that degree. I mean, that's strange. I mean, again, there's certain types that try to hibernate, but typically if they just start doing this, you know, out in it, it's because they're experiencing extreme climates, or they are not taken care of. In some way, their care is failing. It's what you're looking at, you know. I've had plenty of turtles in my life. I've had friends that have had tortoise. I've never had a tortoise myself. You know, I always liked water animals, and I would find them injured, cows step on them, things like that, and take care of them. But you learn from it. You know, now I take that back. I have had some just basic box turtles over time. We used to find those all over the place, you know, so you learn about them. But you when you learn about their needs, I mean, it's serious when they have an extreme, any animal that has some kind of extreme behavior, you have to question the why. It means something extreme has led to it.
Because here I was standing on a tortoise.
Yeah. Do you think he would have been stuck in the ground and maybe died in there? He wouldn't have been. He wouldn't have been able to get out of there.
There was another case that, yes, I fully believe that if I had not found it, it would have died in there.
Oh my goodness.
I think more of the line, it was probably
the pen area as I was trying to help her feed.
She probably took care of it after.
The tortoise was upside down, and I had to rush to get her because they can die that way, is what I was told.
Yes, they can.
So I had to have her flip it over. I mean, basically, she expected me and my partner to feed the animals, clean up after them. There was a chicken pen, and I'm not sure if you know about that one either.
Yeah, I know about that one.
Okay, where I walked in there, and underneath one of the slats was a dead chicken.
Oh.
She also just let the guinea hens out to be on their own, and she got so sick of them that she was hoping that they would.
That also goes, okay, so the tortoise on its back, when you find them, a healthy turtle, if they get flipped over, they can, most of the time they can right themselves. You know, they can manage to flip themselves. But tortoises that are dealing with problems with heat, issues with water, stress, more, they can't. They can't right themselves anymore. So Jamie is probably right. When she found them, what she probably did with them, I would imagine, once she located them, they were probably taken care of at the time too. They were given things. So she's probably right about the fact that without care, I mean, especially the one on its back, that right there, that's a death sentence for a turtle. That is. So I mean, she is right on there. And yes, you're right, aka the cat lady. Tortoises, turtles, they can live a long time in horrible conditions, decades of suffering, and they can thrive. Yes, indeed, they can. They can go through terrible things. You know, they can. They can deal with a lot of environmental issues. Oh God, but it's terrible that they deal with that. You know, they suffer, and when you're supposedly rescuing them if they're suffering, no.
Die, and many of them did.
What did she say about hoping they would die? Like, what
she just couldn't stand them. She couldn't stand them. They ran free, and she couldn't stand it, and so she made sure that they were not around. And soon you hear them around, and then all of a sudden they were just gone.
So she may have pow pow.
That's a good possibility.
Well, she told me she was pow powing quite a few animals.
Well, what? And that's also when there was an incident with one of the dogs.
Oh.
You can give away, you don't have to do that. The only time, okay, living in the country with no animal shelters or no help or anything like that, like in an extreme case, you might have to do something like that. Extreme cases. Man, like turtles and stuff, man, you can give those away, you know? God, I hope that's... man, I hope that did not happen, Lynette. I really hope that did not. That was not the way that they checked out. Because that, I mean, especially for a place that is supposed to be a sanctuary for them. You know, it's supposed to be where they're sent to recoup from awful conditions. It shouldn't be the place that they meet some unfortunate end. They should be loved. Oh, God. It's terrible, man. It's fucking terrible, man.
And the pow pow, where I literally thought she was going to kill the dog.
What was she saying?
And it was just yappy. The dog was a very yappy dog. Yeah. It was very hyper. And that's what chased the guinea hens.
Right.
And that's where I think most of them did. As I said, she just didn't want them around anymore. Yeah. I think there was about 6 of them. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say they weren't annoying. They are pretty annoying, birds.
But they're still her responsibility. She acquired them.
Right, absolutely. I felt like she did not take her responsibility of them very serious.
Yeah.
When I first got there also, the chicken hen was uncovered. And she asked me to help her put a tarp over it. Well, that also ended up me being the only one doing it.
Yeah. Tell me about the pow pow and the little dog. And what kind of dog was it?
I couldn't tell you exactly what brand they
were. Was it the little hot dog one? What was the name of the dog?
No, I don't recall.
Tilly?
There were 2 dogs.
Tilly or
Tilly. I think that's correct, Tilly.
Okay, so
that was one of them for sure.
What happened with the pow pow and Tilly is what?
Tilly.
Explain that.
Well, because at first they were chasing the guinea hens when they would get out, and at first she was upset.
Wait, the 2 Lees were chasing guinea hens?
About that. Now, later on is when she didn't give a crap about him anymore.
Yeah.
And she just
like
let
finger
him
licking.
do whatever happened.
Yeah.
But I think her comment too was she was really going to strangle the dog. Or
was
she was going to shoot it.
Was she holding it when she said that? Like, what was she doing?
Honestly, Sarah, I don't really recall. The dog was around, and I think she was trying to catch it.
Yeah.
I literally had to make sure that didn't happen. I yelled at her to not know she wasn't going to do that.
Wow. Like she was going full force, and if you didn't step in, do you think that dog would have met a fate?
Yes.
Did she have her G on her when she was going after the dog, or in her hand?
I don't recall.
So she was chasing the dog, just threatening the dog that she was going to unalive it, like she,
Yes.
Okay.
Some way she was going to unalive it, whether it been her hands or a pow-pow.
I remember you saying in text in 2023, and I'll have to go back and find that in a message, where you said that she was holding it up and looked like she was trying to break its neck.
Yeah, that's if that was in there, then that would have been correct. I just know I was very concerned. That's what I remember is I was very concerned for that dog.
You told me that you didn't even want to leave with the dog there because you thought it was not going to make it, from what you told me.
Right.
That's very concerning.
It was a hard decision for me. I mean, there was many times that we wanted to leave.
Yeah.
And the story about all that is not accurate, that what's out there.
Yeah. We're going to go over that too, because part of this is also because what has been said about you, which is so untrue. I know you, and what happened even on a court record about you is so unacceptable.
Absolutely.
So now
I didn't deserve any of that. I mean, I was a friend. I came down
I know.
as much as I could.
You
but
did.
when I came out there, it was never to stay.
Well, let's talk about that part.
Okay.
All right, we left Northport. You went to let me go back to the Otter Creek Northport one more time.
Otter Creek, where he was doing the track.
Yes, right. That's where we're going. So you're now looking at the property. You took the photos at the red sign, the famous red sign that's been all in all the videos. That she showed you that sign and him in those videos before you ever even went there. Obviously in Otter Creek, when you arrived in Northport. And there you are, you arrive to the property. She can't drive in because there's a big, and we're not talking about a little tree.
No.
It was a huge monster tree.
It was huge tree.
Like the kind of
blocking completely. You couldn't even see the houses around there.
It's like the kind of tree that really needs you need more than a bulldozer to get out of there. But this man, Jeremy, he wound up over there. He went and got his tractor for her to help her. She asked him for help, right? And he went over there and got his tractor. And it was a lot of work for him to get that. I mean, you gave me the video. I saw the little video clips that you sent me back then. And he was really working hard. And he was doing it. He looked like, listen, if I moved to a street and a man like that came to my house and was helping me move a tree, I would absolutely adore him for what he was doing. And but there's something that happened that day and things that she said to me that made me feel very awkward, because she was already saying things about him that were very, very wrong. And I'm gonna mention one right now.
I think I know what you're talking about.
The
issue.
Yes, that she told me that he was staring at your boobs the entire time. You had told me that you don't even recall him looking at your boobs, but and anyway, what is wrong with boobs anyway?
It was hot.
Well, that seems to be her go-to claims about men. Some type of sexual claims about them. Because if you notice, I mean, look at the Grangers, for example. The Grangers are trying to help out. And what do we have stated about Mr. Granger? Some pretty things, you know, where she was stating for herself in that, you know, help out. It's like, oh, no, why? No, you know, that's not, I don't believe that for a second, you know, I mean, my Lord, just, that is her go-to though. I mean, she maligns men with that. It's a very easy way to do it, but what's sad about it when you get down to it is these are people that are helping her. You know, again, help after the fact. You see why people don't want to help other folks. Ultimately, you know, when your folks are out there and you see a person that has been helping lots of people and suddenly they don't want to help anybody anymore. They're like, or they're reserved about it. I'm not necessarily they don't want to help, but they're reserved about it. You start asking the whys and what fors, and you start finding out, well, that's not really on them as much as on the people that did this.
No, but what's wrong with this, girl?
Look, I got them and I can't hide them.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
There.
Yeah.
And I wear a tank top. They are there, you know?
Yeah. So there is nothing.
I would say I never once felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I never felt like there was any lurking.
Right. And you had told me you didn't feel like he was staring, but she really made a big deal about that. And the thing that I found to be concerning about that was he was there doing work on, first of all, on property she didn't own yet. Number one, she didn't own it yet.
Yeah.
And he was doing a lot of hard work, working very hard to get that thing cleared from that driveway for her.
He wasn't the only one.
Mm-hmm.
There was 2 other residents that came with their chainsaws.
But that was toward the end that they came? Like he first got the tree down with the tractor, yes. Right? And then
most of the tree down and then cut it up.
Okay, so at the end, then somebody else came to help cut it up, but he was the one initially there and got the whole tree down and did all the initial work on the tree by himself with the tractor.
Correct.
And then they needed someone to bring a saw to cut it up to get the rest of it out. And that is amazing that those people came and did all of that and that he came and did that. So my point is, here you have this guy who comes over, brings his tractor, and he's doing a lot of hard work over there because he was looking at boobs. I mean, if a man, first of all, if a man's not even noticing boobs, then what's going on there? I'm just saying, like, there's nothing wrong with noticing, but he wasn't staring. You don't remember him doing any of that to you. So for her to find a reason while he's doing a neighborly good favor, to find a reason to say something about him that way from the get-go. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That to me was, I don't know. It didn't sit well with me. It just was very bizarre for me. And I know that you had brief communications with him, but he wasn't. She claims he's sexting you. He wasn't doing that, was he?
No.
She said a lot of things, Jamie.
She tried to convince me that was the case.
Well, she wanted you to think that's what he wanted when that's not what he was asking you for.
Right.
Which is wrong. Like, she was already seeing him as somebody that she wanted to present him as. She was making him into someone who was...
See, so right from go, when she's still asking for things, she's also maligning him and making him a villain, because that's how it operates according to folks. That's nuts. I got a little one yelling. Yes, baby. Yeah, what? No, ma'am, I'm still on. I'll be on for a little bit longer, okay? Like you're done. She's ready to play some video games. 30 minutes. Hales goes on there. That's what we're doing. So funny. It's like, are you done yet? No, yeah. So funny.
Who was a predator.
Correct.
From the beginning.
She wanted to use his fan base, and yet she wanted to use the property in there as a money making to help her tortoise farm rescue.
Because she knew. Yes, and she knew exactly where he lived and went over there and got that property. That part to me is very concerning. Before she ever even went there, she knew exactly the street he lived on. She knew where he was. She knew where she wanted to buy property.
Oh, yeah. It just happened that property came on the market. Now, it would have been right before I got there in Northport that it
came on the market, yes.
And I'm not even really sure it was like
well, you know what I think?
A for sale sign in front of the house.
Right.
You know?
Well, the listing came onto the internet, and that's how people find properties. But she was looking for a property right there with a purpose. See, there's so many properties in Florida you could be looking at, but to show you videos of him, multiple videos of him in an obsessive manner before even seeing the property.
We're being raided.
She already knew where he was when she found that property on the internet.
Yes. Now, there was no.
You like that raid?
I know there's been.
Did you like that raid? By the way, did you like that? She was like raiding from a long ways away. Yeah, I like that. I thought that was funny. I've got 3 super chats, and let me make sure. I want to make sure I hit everything. You do it correctly. Much love to all of you out there. I have HC. I'm going to say thank you for that two that you sent. It said I couldn't send via Super Chat, hence by this method. So thank you. Keep up the good work. Normally catch you replaying in the UK, but managed to catch tonight's show. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad to have you here. And I'm glad to have you on replay and everything else too. Appreciate you in any way you pop up. Thank you for that. Let's see. There's two more too. Hey, what's up, Angela? 25 over. Thank you there. A little something for the book fund from one of your loyal weekend followers. Thank you for that too. Yes, I've been knocking out. So I read a couple of Dexter the show. I'd read a couple of his books or the books on that long time ago, but I never finished that. So I've started going through the Dexter books. So thank you. I'm actually ready for a new one, so that's actually good timing. And Liz sent 50 over. Thank you, Liz. That is awesome. It says breadstick money. Thank you, Liz. I appreciate you. As always, too. Man, you folks, I love, it's hard for me to, people are like, take a day off, like, it's hard for me to take a day off. I love hanging out and doing this stuff. I like chilling with you folks. It's fun. It's crazy stuff, but it's fun, too.
Some statements made that she was watching that property and wanted it for so long. That is not correct.
Right.
In my opinion,
it doesn't make sense.
You're correct.
It was not something
you didn't hear anything about that early in your relationship. You only heard about this suddenly, and then she's suddenly showing you his videos.
Correct. Of course, she had said things about him before I ever got there.
Right.
She had talked about it. So whenever I got there, she's like, you got to watch these so you can see how great he is, basically.
Yeah.
And how much his fan base was.
Yeah, he's the greatest. I love him. By the way, oh man, he was staring at your what's, and he's trying to do what to you now? Already setting up the allegations. God, I am Lynette. You want to understand why I don't like you, because I firmly believe you are a false accuser. And if you learn one thing about my channel, I do not tolerate false accusers. I cannot stand that, because what it does is it turns people into victims, and it also takes away from real victims. There are people out there that need love and they need support, and nobody will believe them. And it's because of false accusers. I can't stand that. It makes me mad at a level like I can't even rationalize to other people, Again, maybe that should say something. When I still, the crew you put together were a bunch of false accusing pieces of shit too. 2L and all that, they're pieces of garbage. They are garbage human beings. They are stealing from you. And a piece of me is like, you deserve it. But another part of me is like, you know what? Your donors don't. Ultimately, like I said, it would amuse me. Either way, it amuses me. It would amuse me, though, just to listen to them whine enough about it when they get owned. But I also think that the donors deserve justice in that, too. I think they were treated like garbage. Many of them have been maligned, treated poorly. They deserve something as well.
Was immediately, in my opinion, an obsession that started before I ever got there.
Let me ask you a question. If, let's say, okay, because you and I have both had stalkers when we went viral. we won't get into all the details, but we had paparazzi showing up on our properties. Yes. We had things
people following me in Florida.
Yeah. Yes, we had people mailing things.
One of those, I don't know if you know, but recently, within the last year or so, I got one of those nice gifts that you got.
You got that gift too. You know what else?
I sure did.
We both got SWAT calls to our home.
Yes, we did. Yes,
so, a lot went on during that time. So my question to you is, imagine you living on your street at that time when we had that whole fame thing going and all those paparazzi and people showing up at the end of our driveway and things like that, coming in the mail and all that. Can you imagine somebody spotting you in your videos and suddenly moving their entire life to your street, would you feel like you were being stalked?
Well, absolutely.
Right. It's not.
If it was all centered around me.
Yes.
And that's the only reason they got the property, or
right.
was to use me.
Yes.
Use me and
your fan base.
Things that I had. It wasn't just me that was on that property during the time we were there the second time.
Yeah.
I did have my family there for a couple days, off and on, and they were. Also, I took pictures of them next to the tortoises. I have a picture of one of them feeding the tortoise. Oh. I mean, it was a family thing.
Yes.
And my kids had to watch that too.
Yeah.
They knew that, HG was my goddaughter.
Yeah. So they thought of her as like a little sister.
Right. She followed them around the whole time they were there. That's all I ever saw of her, was just craving attention. The only attention she ever had was yelling, to the point where I even said stuff several times about, you really shouldn't be yelling like that. It's not healthy.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, so I found something out that was really interesting. You remember Lisa said that Only Me said $19,102. Well, I was going over fees, and the fee setup is 2.99%, right? And then you have a fixed fee on top of that of around 49 cents. Now, when you arrange that, you know what you come up with? You come up with an uneven number. You come up with hundreds of dollars and 90. You end up with like 500 or so, but then you end up with $98 off the end. So the $2, it proves it was a fee transfer. That's how you end up with $102 at the end, So while I was looking at that, I also wonder with currency changeover if something further ate away a little bit, but I'm gonna have to show that to you later on. I was calling and doing a little bit of math on fees to see if they changed in the past or anything else, just to understand the fees. It's been kind of
and I understood she would say she was under a lot of pressure. Everything that she did, she blamed on JH. Everything.
Everything's JH's fault.
From her,
Jeremy.
It was always
issues with the Winn-Dixie and
Winn-Dixie Jeremy.
Everything was his fault. Not one thing was her fault. Even when she would attack back, it was because he had attacked her. It was just, it was out of line. It wasn't.
Of course.
In my opinion, that's not what was going on.
You heard about the signs, right? The signs that I know,
had nothing to do with them.
Okay, yeah, you weren't. Oh no, I know you don't. You weren't there when that happened. That was long.
And I have no idea, because she will deny it.
I know.
Correct.
If she said to me, John or JC wrote those signs, it could have been a deflection onto someone else.
Correct.
That's quite possible.
That was always it. It was always JC's fault.
Right.
Always.
I heard that quite a bit.
And every fight was always his fault.
Right.
He was, and let me just say, he wasn't a nice person.
Well, I had that same experience you had, but go ahead and tell me what your experience was. How did he treat you? How did he treat you?
Like crap.
Huh.
He even one night started yelling at us from the camper, telling us we needed to leave. And it was, I believe that was around the time right before I hurt my foot.
Yeah.
I got exhausted, and
of course,
at the time, my health was not great.
Yeah. And don't get into your health, because we don't want that to put your private stuff in. But go ahead.
Right. It just wasn't great, and I felt very pushed to my limit.
Yes, and I know you do.
Constantly.
Yeah.
And it was not a good environment. She would leave the food to rot. It would sit out there and rot, and that's sad. Now I know that she did have a pig farmer come out and get some of it.
Mm-hmm.
She would share that, but there was also food that she ate. I have a picture of the baby eating a watermelon slice that was from all that stuff.
Was the watermelon from the dumpster diving?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
It was
Oh, man, really? Come on, Lynette. That stuff you said was so... You shouldn't feed dumpster juiced food to animals, but you especially don't feed it to... You talk about... I really hope this is, again, not true, Lynette, because you're talking about a child you said has health issues and has to have particular types of food, particular types of intake. And I would say that dumpster juice probably violates, well, anybody's health standards. Not just somebody that is immunocompromised, but any of us. If I found out someone said, fed me dumpster juice food, I would not be thrilled.
Winn-Dixie.
But it was from the Winn-Dixie. Was it their stuff that they were getting rid of? Their produce they were getting rid of.
It was supposed to be used for the turtles and the tortoises.
And she was feeding the child that.
That's so nasty.
They all did.
With her health condition.
Yes. There was no issues. Even whenever we were supposed to wear masks, I didn't wear any mask. We went to Walmart. The baby didn't have a mask.
And she was
I never saw these horrible signs. The only thing I knew was what she would tell me.
Right.
She did keep that baby in the camper a lot. Or not the camper, excuse me, the shed a lot. And
is that still happening?
Pictures of that shed.
Yes. So I'll put that at the end of the video as well. I'll put that in the video as well.
She had her sleeping in a hammock. And one day when I came in there, she was asleep, and I felt that the child, when a hammock comes up around you, I felt that her face was in a position that could cause her to not be able to breathe. So she rearranged the baby, but to me it was very unsafe.
Yeah.
And everything was all around. There was only a path to come in, and all her toys were pretty much in areas that she couldn't play with.
And there was no bed ever that you saw.
No.
Well, to this day.
That was years ago, too. So the age there, that's serious problems there. Again, babies suffocate. Little kids, they unfortunately they do that with pillows. So with a rope from a house, man, that's dangerous. God, like I said, Lynette, I don't even like to think about this kind of stuff because it annoys me so badly. The kind of nightmares that I would have, that, like I said, I have 2 girls, and these things would fill me with dread and nightmares.
There is still no bed, according to, current events. No bed.
Yeah.
And still in the shed. And just so you know, I purchased, you know how I am. I help where I'm not a rich girl, am I, Jamie?
No.
And when
you've done things for me as well.
I've given to a lot of people. I even bought a mother and children a camper, because, and I don't have money to spare, but I do things because if I'm involved in a situation and I see somebody suffering or needing something, how can it look? If I have to do without something to give them something, why wouldn't I?
Right, absolutely.
So
we're always that way. I mean, there was times that I really needed help, and you pulled through.
I did my best. And I'll tell you, absolutely. I had to purchase the insulation for that shed because that's the reason I brought that up just now, because the child was living in a tin shed. You saw the shed. You've been there.
Yeah.
It's tin.
So Shara bought the insulation for it. So when Lynette says that she purchased everything, you said you bought everything on the builds, and yet Shara's buying your insulation. Yeah, Jack's mom, this would be a good... What about the e-bike there? Said you bought an e-bike instead of a bed for the kid? I mean, I sincerely hope that is not... Oh, God. All of this. Again, the problem is, Lynette, that you had enough money given to you that you wouldn't be living in a box. But unfortunately, as is the case, you and Cook decide that you want to malign people that would help you. Now, I don't know if I want to help you anymore. And again, you will fail on your own. That's what Lisa Lee is thinking you will do, because you cannot control your temper. You cannot showcase yourself as anything. And again, you're going to allow the same circumstances that have always been. I mean, John, big talker too, like I said. But ultimately, kid without a bed, man. Whew. These people, dude.
It's, you have an air conditioner, it's not going to stay cool because it is tin.
No.
And
I hope that ain't the case.
That we ran the air conditioner, even though we paid for all of the electric hookup,
right,
the sewage hookup, and she stole all that. I'm just going to say that. She kept all of that, went out.
Oh, we'll get into that too.
Stairs we made specifically that cost me about $300. But I too, would get things for the baby. And I know there's a trip to Walmart, I always tried to help with whatever I could. I'm not a very rich person either, but did you purchase something for the baby?
Well, I purchased all the insulation in the shed, but then after I did it, she called me and see you next Tuesday.
Oh, no.
Wow. I'm not kidding you. I'm not going to get into how I was treated in this situation, but it is really bad. And it began with JC because in the beginning, when I decided, let me look into her case and try to help her, it was really the child that I wanted to help. The child was on my mind, on my heart. She was telling me she told me the most egregious things about JH, horrific things that scared me. It literally scared me. The things that she was telling me were outrageous. Yeah. And I thought, I have to step in and help this child. There's many reasons why. The condition she's living in, for one. So I bought the insulation because I couldn't. How could I walk away and not do that? Right. To at least that would help keep the cooling in the shed, or even in the winter and in the heat. So I did that. But there were other things I did too. I was lied to and asked for money for other things, and the money wasn't used for that. Yes. And I had a big problem with that, but I won't get into all that. I helped where I could. I did all.
I hope one day you do get into all of it, though, Shara. I think you have, again, you would be talking about your first person point of view and what you saw there. And I think that is a very powerful testimonial tool as well, because it ultimately, what's wild. There are a lot of people waking up to the fact that, again, their money has been misused. It didn't land where they thought it would. They don't like these people anymore, and so on. Well, they villainized Shara when she came to that conclusion. They said that she was some kind of monster that destroyed the anti-Hales ecosystem. And yet, when you look at it, the real thing that wrecked and ruined these folks was Preston and 2L. Really, you take your pick on what stuff. They've tried to find a fall guy in Shara, but really Shara told them, look, I did this, I did that. It was not used right.
I could, but there was something I was doing, Jamie, that some people know about now. I didn't discuss it while I was doing it, but you know how I am. I actually was working on, I got approved for getting grants with Home Depot to build her house.
Oh, wow.
And it was in progress. And then other people got involved in the case right around the time where it was going to take a few months to get the grants completed, but they were in progress. And I started getting treated so poorly that I pulled it off the table. And you know that I would never, I would never do that. I would.
Now, you heard that. Other people got him. I wonder which people cost you your grants, Lynette. I wonder what people could have gotten involved there. How many more stories do you have to hear? Again, you chose these people. They're who you wanted as your PR team, your mouthpiece, your voice. And now you don't want it anymore. But this was on you, man. It was on you. So you just step up in a big way and do something, because they have cost you, again, a lot. A lot. Stuff you can't even realize. And I'm not just talking about the money right there, you know. Craig, thanks for the 20. Tuck, not health per. You just do not want to bring that into your life. It's just not worth it. I'll do it on my terms, man. I do it on my terms. I set the stage for it. It happens on my terms. You know, 100%. We're not pals. We won't be pals, Lynette. We won't chill out, you know. But yes, it would be on 100% of my terms. And yes, Craig, you are 100%. Anybody that does this on her terms would you're kidding yourself. You are. You have to be insane. But see, what I would like to know, what I'd really like ultimately in this, I believe that what happened is criminal. Like, not criminal as in I'm just saying a word. I think it was actually criminal what happened. I think we are looking at a lot of money that ended up getting ghosted, and proper authorities, they need to be involved. They need somebody who doesn't sound like a mushmouth moron when they talk about it. They need to be able to convey and conceptualize exactly what needs to be stated. You are also dealing with Florida. You're dealing with other areas. Again, they're southern in their mix. So I think it's less about helping her. I think it's more about justice for her donors. I think they have been done wrong. But yeah, you're 100%. And yes, I appreciate you, brother. For sure. 100%. Adair, thanks for the vibe. Thanks for your endless live stream. I've been quietly watching. Indeed, we will go right up until Hale's time. We'll probably switch off. There may be a couple of minutes that at the end of this thing we don't get, because there's 12 minutes, but we'll get close. And yeah, I've been enjoying it. I've like I said, I wanted to hang out. I thought it would be fun to hang out with you guys. And then tonight, I'm going to stay up and I'm going to run from zombies on video games. So
Never. If I was going to help somebody do something, I would never pull out.
Right.
But I had to. Things got really bad, and there were other people involved, and large concerns that were growing. That I just was like, what on earth is going on here? This is like every day it would get crazier and crazier. I'm telling you, to the point now where it is so crazy, I can't even believe what's going on.
Ooh, Evan. Okay. With this, they start bringing up. Now, my favorite part of this, again, I think this stuff is something we sit down and do on our an entire stream. Because look at all of it. There is an ocean of it. But there's one thing from this. Let's see, where is it? Here. What's up? What's up? What's this? What's this? Have you seen this? Remember, people that weren't fans, they didn't know or like the guy at all, and yet here's illustrated on the television. Who is that? Who is that? You know? Yeah, we got 10 minutes. I've got the redirect set up and everything. We're good to go. Like I said, I'll give it a few minutes before, and then we'll go over. But we're good. I've got the time up. I've also got the channel watching their countdown too. So I made sure their countdown is it's close. But we're not there yet. We will be there. Like I said, I'll probably give it a few minutes more than 3. I said 3, but I'm probably doing more than that. But yeah, it's so funny though. Like I say, she claimed repeatedly that she didn't watch him. She didn't enjoy it. She didn't like his show or anything. But look at that. Watch him so much, Jamie got sick of it. That's right. I mean, again, when you think about it, everything she stated, she could have easily kept. Look, Lynette, this is the thing that blows my mind. I can say this now because you're already in court. Everything's already happened. You've already put all your statements out there. You could have made your point and still been admitted that you were a fan of this person. You could have done that easily, but you lied about every point. Every point. It blows my mind. There's a lot of proof in this, though. You have, if you have not seen this, first of all, you need to give Shara some love. Go over to her channel, watch it anyway, listen to it. It's fascinating stuff. But look at all this. I mean, you've got 10 minutes worth of screenshot. And if you can see down here at the bottom, you notice how many changes it has. See, look at this. Actually, I'll put it on the screen. Look how many changes over that are here. So we're not talking about one or two little items here. We are talking about an absolute deluge of information that really doesn't hook to the story that Lynette has put out in places. You know, here's the thing that a lot of people like this have a problem with. They don't know what information is out there. You know, they think that they can dance between the raindrops, as it were, but they don't. They can't manage that. Oh, what's up? Maybe not. That's awesome of you. That is very appreciated too. 20 giftos. Man, that is a great place toward an end of the stream as well too. I love that because like I said, it rewards people that have been here. And especially it rewards people that have been here probably watching everything, hang out. I love that. I appreciate it. You know, and again, I know we go a little bit early. There's a lot going on too. There was that memorial stream today. Man, I mean, love to people's families and stuff. That's a terrible tragedy too. That is, it's terrible. I can't watch stuff like that sometimes. It just, I hate the finality in the awful that humans do to other humans. You know, like in some of it. So that's one of the reasons I was like, you know, we can watch this kind of stuff again. We watch a court case play out. We hear about the crazy and the underlying issues. And some of that is awful. But man, some of that other. But again, love the people's family. I know a lot of people were impacted. And me, myself too. You know, I saw the videos of what happened with that. It was awful, awful stuff. And I can't even imagine what goes on for people's families. I wish people could remember that and stuff. I wish they could remember things like this, even what we're covering now. I wish they could remember that, you know. But I appreciate people showing up. I do really kind of, one thing I do want to do though, I do want to reach out to Madam Mayor and Mr. Granger in there. I think talking to them about what they've experienced and how the Trespass 5, all of that stuff was shaped and framed. I think that would be really interesting to discuss, you know, and how good deeds, man. Mel, what's up? Thanks for the tea there. Tender tug, indeed. Well, I just, like I said, some of this stuff, man. I can't believe that. Like the story with Jamie tells is upsetting too, because remember, these people run a rescue. They're supposed to be there saving lives as well, you know. And that's terrible as well. But anyway, let me make sure. I think I'll send you over now. I think that'll be good. It'll be a good time for it. It'll give you a few minutes to set up, situate. And thank you. Like I said, thank you all for coming in on a Sunday. There are a lot of options, you know. There's football or whatever too. My littlest has gotten into wanting to watch football. So we actually watched some football earlier. We have to get the regional games. We had Tennessee and the Colts. So it's always interesting there. But I'm gonna send you over. Appreciate you. I'll be listening. See ya.